Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Nathan Gaming, where today we are continuing our adventure of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Yes, I know, I know. I'm playing the Knights of the Old Republic yet again. I know it's been a while since I played Metroid Fusion and Tails. Ugh. But I've been kind of just going with the flow for what I feel like playing, and this is what I feel like playing at the moment, so that's what I'm going to do. I will get to those other games. Mark my word, I'm not going to just leave a game uh, unfinished, like uh, like Fire Emblem, because I have absolutely no motivation or want to continue that particular series. And that's mainly because of the fact that I just don't have a vested interest in wanting to continue the series for several reasons. Reasons that are just mainly that I'm not. I chose the game because it was a blend between strategy and tactics, which I'm not. Well, I mean, RPG and tactics. I think I said that twice. I think I said strategy twice. But anyways, it was a blend between strategy and RPG mechanics, and I liked that, but I wasn't exactly all that invested in it. So, especially since I was doing kind of bad, like I was making some horrendous decisions in the beginning, and then after a while, I was just like, okay, well, I hear that it's that the normal difficulty is, or at least I feel like that the normal, or at least I felt at the time the normal difficulty was kind of, I mean, it was difficult, but I didn't want to struggle on it too hard and then get stuck in an area or whatever, or have characters die immediately. So I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and just lower the difficulty a bit. But then, as it turned out, that by lowering the difficulty, I made the game a little too easy. And that kind of annoyed me a little bit, but I continued with it for a while, but then I realized, oh, well, the game does get more difficult, but it also gets a bit more grindier too, because then the enemies get like over leveled and it becomes almost like an arduous task to do anything, so I just said fuck it. And so I could try and have a specific strategy and tactic going into every battle encounter, but for the most part, it was, yeah, I was starting to think about exercising that after a while, but yeah, for the most part, I was just kind of checked out from it. I was kind of checked out from it because over time I just was like, I'm not exactly into strategy games, and despite the fact that it's supposed to be a hybrid between strategy and RPG, it just wasn't really meshing well for me. And I also wanted to try playing other games at the time, and I knew that Fire Emblem was going to be a massive time sink, so I just decided to just cut my losses and just move on from it. So yeah, those are my reasons. But other than that, yes. So, anyways, last time we left off, we were heading over to one of the caves, and we were given a task after completing our training, for the most part, by the council, to go figure out what is causing this corruption of the animals on the planet of Dantooine, and figure out what's going on with the grove there that's causing it. But I decided to take a little bit of a detour to get to the crystal caves that are on the planet, because of course I want to get to the crystal caves, because, I mean, you think I'm gonna miss up an opportunity to get maybe a different colored lightsaber or whatever? Maybe, potentially. Yeah, no. I mean, at least some crystal upgrades would be nice, which is what I was mainly going for. So, yeah. That being said, let's just go ahead and get this show on the road. So I realized after hindsight from the last video that me being in a particular mood to play a game doesn't exactly have the best benefits, because I mean, I kind of expected this. It probably would just lead to me just complaining about a particular thing or gripe that was, you know, that was in my mind on a particular day. So but I just ultimately decided to try it anyway, see if maybe it will motivate me to at least talk more. But it didn't really open me up to new conversational topics. All it really did is that it made me, holy crap, it's dark in here. All it really did was just, make me kind of mute. So, yep. That being said, it looks like there are some animals in here. Kin rats, of course. These things are the spiders of this planet. You could even argue that they're just the spiders of all Star Wars planets, but yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was caught up with something. It took me a while to get back, let me tell you. Okay, so, God, where was I when I left off? So, yes, we're fighting Kinrest in a cave. I don't even remember what the last conversation was about. If I was talking about something, but I can imagine that I was probably fumbling around trying to get my point across, as I typically do. So, whatever it was, it'll probably come back to me, or it probably won't. Either way. So, moving on to another conversational point. So, I've been doing something. I've been trying to figure out what it was that... I cannot hit anything. Blair's just not good right now still. So, I've been thinking about a few things, and the things that I've been wanting to do on this channel because I'm not too sure, like, how I'm gonna find the time to do a lot of the stuff on this channel. But I guess it doesn't matter, really. I don't think anyone tunes in to talk about stuff about my channel, so let's go ahead and just move on from that, I guess. Anyways. So, that's all the Kinras here, it seems. Alright, so we made it to the Crystal Caves. It's not a half-bad green. It's a nice green effect on these lightsabers, despite the fact this game is old as fuck. Ay, ay, ay. Yep, that's all of them. Sweet, got some upgrades. So, I have been wondering about a few things. Like, if I should probably, like, do another Star Wars game after this, or maybe do something else. I don't know. I should probably do something fresh, like I kind of have been. Doing Fusion right now. I haven't finished Tales yet, but I'm getting there. But, yeah, I'm wondering if I should do something fresh, or... I guess I can't target those eggs. Sweet. Or continue another Star Wars game. Because I could definitely play more Star Wars games. I love the Star Wars games. They're my favorite Star Wars media. But I don't know if I want to just stream mainly... Well, not stream, but I don't know if I want to record do Let's Plays on mainly Star Wars types of games. Because, you know, I should probably consider doing a few other things. At least that's what I'm thinking, but maybe I could just do... Because I should just do whatever, really. I should just do whatever seems like it'd be the most fun for me, which could probably correlate in doing what's fun for entertainment purposes. Because I don't want to just make dull videos, but at the same time, I'm kind of just a very difficult person to really motivate myself to be more interesting. Because I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what sort of approach or tone I want to do with the channel. I just went back to trying to move on from this to then just talking about the channel again. Well, at any rate, I guess I'll just talk about... I guess we'll just continue to talk about Star Wars, since that seems to be what I'm playing. So, something about Star Wars. Well, one of the things that you'll probably notice about the Star Wars, the Force, as is portrayed in the Star Wars media, at least for the most part, the Disney canon kind of fucks with the established lore of the Force and how the Force works. But typically, the Force is separated into two categories, that being the light and the dark side. There's two different approaches to the light. And if you think about it, they function very uniquely depending on the sort of approach you take to actually wielding the Force. So, for example, well, I shouldn't say for example, but basically, the light side is essentially becoming one with the universe. It's kind of like a more spiritual sort of like power. You gain power through energy, through life, and being open, having your mind open to the nature and wonder of the universe. It's essentially a form of enlightened power. But the dark side, as many will know from watching the movies and other subsequent media, is a darker power. It's an inner power that is focused and channeled mainly through the self. You could even say the ego, because the power of the dark side functions fundamentally through the depth of one's ego. And the more you subject yourself to the dark side...
Hey Karth, can I talk to you for a second?
Are you ready to have a civil chat? Or is this gonna be another childish tantrum?
Tantrum? I'm trying to apologize, you nerf herder. I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get mad at you. It's just that I'm sick of everyone treating me like I'm a helpless kid.
Yeah, I know. And I'm sorry about what I said too. I'm just a little on edge lately. Not surprising considering all we've been through, but I shouldn't take it out on you.
That's with all the apologies, hoping for another fight. It's about time you two made up.
Mission, you have to know that we don't think you're helpless. I mean, look where we are. Look at what we're doing. You're not just along for the ride. We need you.
You really mean it, don't you? Nobody's ever said anything like that to me before. Not even Big Z. He might think it, but he's not really one for words, you know. Thanks, Karth.
Well, that's no big deal. I mean, I know how it is. Sometimes you just need to hear a few words of encouragement. Kids are like that.
Kids are like that? Listen, you... Oh, I get it. Okay, you got me. You're pretty funny, Karth. For an old guy. Come on, geezer. Let's get back to what we were doing.
Well, I'm glad they're kind of meeting each other on a specific wavelength. They found a wavelength that is acceptable. They're communicating. So that's... But yeah, they did have an argument back on Taurus about being... well, Mission got into an argument with him about being thought of as a child, but that's mainly a Mission problem. But anyways, the dark side very much feeds on the ego of the person who channels the dark side. What makes the dark side so interesting, though, is that the way the dark side tends to warp people, and why a lot of people do crazy shit as, you know, as they utilize the power of the dark side is that by giving into yourself and giving into your own ego, you essentially, guess we'll go ahead and just slowly make this approach here. And by essentially subjecting yourself to your own vanity, the problems that are born from that is that the dark side basically warps your mind, kind of like a drug. You know, the more, or yeah, you know, it's like cigarettes. The more you smoke cigarettes, the more addicted you become to it. The more your mind gets altered into wanting that drug. And so, how people end up becoming so delusional when they're being manipulated, you know, when they're channeling their inner darkness, so to speak, is that they essentially corrupt themselves by its influence. The more that you subject yourself and the more you let the dark side basically course through you and channel through your body, the more it's going to warp your being. And it's why the Sith are so dangerous. It's because they essentially use the dark side as a source of quick and easy access to power. Whereas through the light side, through years of meditation, enlightenment, and understanding of life in the universe, which will eventually lead you to greater power, the dark side essentially gives you a quick and easy access to it. And it's actually very perverted in the way that it does that, because it is powerful. Don't get me wrong. You see how in the Star Wars universe, the light side always ends up prevailing over the dark side. And it's kind of like it's one of its biggest themes, but that's not necessarily always the case, and neither is it always true. Okay, I didn't know this. Because the truth of the matter is that you can become very powerful through the dark side. The problem, though, is the limitations of both your emotional mind and the depth of your own, ego, the vanity of your own desires. It very much functions off of vice, and it's only as powerful as deluded and as corrupt and as morally bankrupt and I guess wanting as you might become. It's not that difficult to imagine how that could, you know, like how that might work, but I'm terrible at explaining shit. I guess I'm trying to focus on gameplay and stuff all at the same time as I'm talking about this. So yeah, essentially, the dark side is all about twisting people's natures against them in order to further corrupt them to make them more susceptible to its power. It's kind of like it's got a mind of its own, and it pretty much does that. No one really understands what the dark side is, where it comes from, why it is the way that it is, or why the Force has dual sides to itself. But what we can infer is that if you think about it like the yin and the yang, that's basically what the light side and dark sides of the Force are. It's very similar in concept, but in application it is very different. And one of the interesting things about the dark side is that even though people can use it intelligently, not very many people can actually do that unless they exercise moderation. It's why some of the greatest Sith Lords have been people who use the dark side in meaningful ways and exercise moderation over instead of just blind power-seeking corruption and just completely losing themselves into its power. You know, by always feeding into their negative emotions and always becoming, you know, fully, susceptible to their own desires. People who use the dark side have to exercise a certain level of moderation in order to not fully become just, consumed by it. It's actually one of the reasons why Darth Sidious is actually despite the fact that he, Palpatine is one of the most, stereotypical evil characters in fiction. He's one of the best stereotypical characters in fiction. In fact, he's, basically, invented the staple. He probably cemented that staple. But the point is that he's only helped to create the caricature because of how effective that caricature is. I mean, you look at Palpatine from his conception to how he's portrayed in every single media he's involved in. He's basically a very intelligent Sith Lord. He hides in the shadows, he doesn't let anyone know who he is or what he's about, and he only ever reveals himself in situations that require careful handling. And he basically is a master manipulator because he's also a politician. He's a born and raised politician. And so he's an expert at manipulating people and large groups of people to getting what he desires. But again, we have to focus on the key thing here, which is exercising moderation. Only through the careful exercise in moderation does he actually manage to do this. Okay, let's level myself up so I don't die. What force ability do I want to give myself? First target must be at least 5 meters away, and each additional target must be within 5 meters. This attack always hits. Damage is 1/6 for every 2 levels of the attacking character. Once the lightsaber is thrown, it will automatically return to the Jedi's hand at the end of the round. Extra options and appear in conversations. That might be useful. When it comes to persuasion. But I don't know if I want to just acquire that. It might be nice to acquire that, but I'd rather focus on offensive abilities. Or abilities that could help me in combat situations. This power requires physical attributes and saving throws to all parties. Effect mind, I could use that. Let's see, stun droids, stun targets. All hostiles. An opponent targeted, unable to move or take modifiers means the target is slowed for a duration instead of stunned. This power does not affect droids. It's weird that slow is a dark side ability, according to this game. I'll go ahead and put some points in force push. My defense is low. I wonder why that is. I kinda wonder why that is. Oh boy. This side quest. I don't know if I want to do this one right now. I'll come back here later. Alright. Yeah. Well, this looks a little suspicious.
You've been holding out on us again. If you haven't given us enough money, I guess we're gonna have to take it out of you piece by piece.
No, please. Take my wife and children instead. Anything.
Wife and children.
Take my wife and
Sounds
children
like a
instead.
good idea.
Well, they are certainly going to take him up on the offer. And down he goes. Yeah, I'll attack this one. Ay, ay, ay. Maybe I should wait before I do the dual wielding aspects of combat. Because I'm not hitting anything. Huh, the lightsaber looks a little different. At least its PNG looks a little different. Alright, so now we're looking for the Grove. Could have gone the other way. I think the other way would have just taken me back to the academy, actually. Oh, my audio's breaking for a second. I hate it when it does that. Ay, ay, ay. But yeah, especially if you consider a few things when it comes to the Force, when it, you know, in regards to the dark side, you know, returning back to that topic, is that the reason why the Sith are usually so successful is because the person who is the leading the other Sith, or is in charge of leading any sort of empire or organization, they're usually the smarter ones out of the bunch, and they exercise a certain level of care in how they develop their power. Alright, because just blindly cleaving to power is not going to get you very far in terms of being a successful Sith. Just greatest examples of this are Darth Maul and, I mean, hell, look at Malik. Malik is not even really, because here's the funny thing about Darth Malik, is that he's not actually as great as you might suspect him to be. The only reason why he's where he is right now is because Darth Revan got him there. He's been basically piggybacking off of Darth Revan's achievements for like the longest time, and he was his apprentice for the longest time. And so all it would take for him to get any sort of like leverage and power in the galaxy would be to overthrow his master, and then inheriting all of his subsequent power and arsenal and resources, and that's what he did. So a lot of his achievements aren't even really his, but rather it's Revan's. And so he kind of is just an asshole back then. He's just like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna betray him, and then I'm gonna take over all of his army, all of his resources, and then I'm going to try and continue this war against the galaxy and become the true head of the system. Even though he never earned that position, that's exactly what he wants to do. And you see how easily he squanders it. He bombs a planet for literally no reason other than just because he wants to ensure his power is secure by trying to eliminate Bastila, not necessarily thinking about the repercussions that doing something like that might have on the wider galaxy. What made Revan so powerful and dangerous is that he had a methodical mind, and he was also a brilliant strategist. So he understood war, and he understood how to approach certain combat scenarios and how to best utilize the resources and power given to him without, you know, fucking himself or the wider galaxy over. It's why he was able to push back the Mandalorians so effectively, because he thought and meticulously developed stratagems that would allow him to push back against the Mandalorians. All of which, something that Malak, as you might be able to perceive, doesn't exactly do, and he's often just relied on Revan for most of a lot of the things that have to do with, strategy. At least we can infer that. Granted, this game doesn't do a whole lot in really highlighting what it is about Malak that made him so impressive as a leader, other than the fact that he just rules with an iron fist. I mean, just about anyone can rule with an iron fist, but it takes someone who uses that power wisely that makes him seen as such an impressive threat. You know, another way to look at it would be, another good example is Marco Ragnos. If any of you have actually delved into the wider lore of Star Wars and have actually looked at the expanded universe, at least the Legends continuity of things, Marco Ragnos is a terrifyingly popular figure among Sith, because just about every Sith from every generation, no matter what time period it is, always goes and reflects fondly on the era of Marco Ragnos. Marco Ragnos was considered the golden era for the Sith, because not only was Ragnos a powerful ruler, but who successfully created new and thought of new ways to utilize the dark side and the Force, but he also was someone who was the only Sith who managed to be so powerful in the dark side and within the Force itself that he created all kinds of, that he basically helped to create all kinds of problems for the wider galaxy, as well as creating all kinds of different powers and benefits for the Sith. It's difficult to really remark on Ragnos because I'm not too familiar with the actual continuity itself. I just watch a lot of YouTube videos. But basically, Marco Ragnos is like the pinnacle of what every Sith Lord wishes they could be. He's like the poster boy, the poster child of like a true Sith Lord. And it's because he was also very meticulous in his approach on how he uses his power as well. Not only was he very powerful and strong within the Force and in the dark side, but he was also one of the most powerful duelists of his time, not more powerful than I think, what was it? Was it a Junta Paul or Nagasato? I'm trying to remember, but there was a duelist even more powerful than even Ragnos, but essentially Ragnos was a very powerful duelist, but he was also he was also very powerful in the Force. So that combination made him a very deadly person to fight indeed. But he was also so powerful that to the point of his death, he literally became a Force ghost, and he surprised all of his followers when he died. And when he died, he didn't die because a Jedi slew him or anything like that. No, he died from natural causes. The guy lived a good many years and died of natural causes without actually suffering from any major blows or nothing. The guy was basically, he died without getting overthrown or taken down by a Jedi. He was that powerful and that good as a Sith Lord that he never gave his enemies the chance or the opportunity to strike him down. And so, basically, he never failed as a Sith Lord, basically. And so he got to, but when he died of natural causes, and there was basically a funeral pyre for his death, his followers were surprised when suddenly his fucking Force ghost came out of nowhere and surprised everyone because he apparently found a way through the dark side of the Force to basically to create an astral projection of himself that can exist beyond his mortal coil. And so his spirit lived on, and I believe still lives on. And it wasn't until, I believe, Jedi Academy where his spirit was returned once again to wreak havoc on the galaxy, but not really, because he was soundly defeated by the protagonist of that game. But it doesn't matter, because the point being is that Ragnos is a very memorable Sith only because of the fact that he was able to accomplish many things in his time that not very many Sith were able to do in any era or any time in Star Wars. And he also got to die of natural causes instead of just being slain by whatever Jedi basically met him in one-on-one combat and then got soundly defeated by that said Jedi. He was basically a really powerful and very meticulous Sith Lord that was very impressive for the time that he lived. He was even better than Exar Kun, which many people, especially in this game, constantly refer to when they think of like a Sith Lord or a very powerful one.
I will be your doom!
Well, this isn't good. So we made it to the Grove, and this is what we find. Well, this is definitely different than how the Council mentioned it would go. Well, that's unfortunate. Ow. What just happened? At least when they're stunned like this, I have a better chance of actually accomplishing this.
You are strong. Stronger than me, even in my darkness.
Yeah, why did you attack me? Why did you attack me?
I am Juhani, and this is my grove. This is the place of my dark power. This is the place you have invaded. When I embraced the dark side, this is where I sought my solace. It is mine.
I see. So I guess you're the source of the corrupting influence and disturbance that this grove seems to emanate. So you've been corrupting the Cathounds?
Yes. Aren't they pretty? My pets. They like the smell of power I exude. They know their master. I harnessed true power when I struck down my master, Quatra. Power enough to crush the life from someone such as you. Or so I had thought.
The dark side is never powerful enough. And I laugh at your pathetic attempt. You slew Quatra, your master?
Yes. I struck her down in the middle of training, consumed by my anger, embracing the power of hate. But it was not enough. What is it you want? Why do you bother me?
Why are you doing this?
I have fallen, and dark power courses through my veins. I can never go back to the council, so here I shall stay.
I just want to talk.
Talk? You who have beaten me so easily just want to talk? I do not believe it. Kill me now while you still have the power.
I have no desire to kill you, Juhani.
Lies. Leave me and come back when you have the courage to finish your task.
And this is why I want to focus on persuasion.
What is it you want?
Just want to talk.
Talk.
Yep. I do not hold anger towards you, Juhani. I wish you peace.
Not anger. Peace. Yet even with your naive attitude, you managed to beat me. I am pathetic. I sit here and think myself to be great by embracing the dark side, but I am nothing. There is no way I could be turned back. I always thought they held me back, or jealous of my power. This is only because I was not good enough to meet their standards. I never have been.
Sounds like you're beating yourself up a little too much. Come now, Johnny. You are a beautiful young woman who has much talent. Boy, I'm gonna just lay it on thick. We're gonna try and butter her up before we turn her back to the light side. I'll try this again, though I don't know if I like the idea of flirting with her.
I thank you for your kind words, Jedi.
Well, that
I
worked.
seem to still have much to learn, both about being a Jedi and about myself. But I wish the cost of my ignorance had not been so high. I wish that my master had not suffered because of me.
I guess we'll try it one more time. It is not your fault, Johanny.
I only wish things could have been different. If she were alive now, there would be so much I would say to her. So much I would apologize for. How can the council ever take me back with what I have done? Striking my master down in anger is unforgivable.
Do not worry, they will surely take you back. We'll try the persuade option again because it seems to be working out so far. Do not worry, Johanny. They will surely take you back.
The council may forgive a lot, but not this. I am lost. Even though I would repent, there is nowhere left for me to go. Leave me to my hopelessness.
Okay.
I do not know what to do, now that I have caused such suffering to my master and those around me.
It is not your fault.
It is. It is. It was I who hurt her. I who killed her. Her suffering is my fault alone. Leave me to my pain.
Okay. That worked before, but
Do not know what.
it is not your
I
fault.
only wish things could have been different. If she were alive now, there would. How can the council ever?
Yeah-huh. Don't worry, they will surely take you back. Because clearly there is a chance now. Now that I realize that this is actually something that actually happens, there is a chance that these things work, so I'm going to rely on chance here.
I should convince them that I am truly repentant, that I am willing to forsake the dark side. And maybe, just maybe, they would accept me back. Do you think they would? Could it be possible after what I've done?
Of course it would. They would always accept you back.
The council may forgive a lot.
Jesus
I am
Christ.
lost. Leave me. How can I ever face the council?
This could get a little tedious after a while. I remember doing this when I was younger, and at one point I just said fuck it, and I just slew her. Of course it would. They would always accept you back.
The council. I am. Leave me.
Yep.
How can I? I thank you, Master Jedi. I will return to the council then. I shall submit myself to their judgment and hope they will forgive me. Again, I thank you. I am sure I will hear great things about you in the future.
Well, that worked out. And no one had to die. Thank God. And that's why I wanted to put points in Persuade. Precisely for this moment. Oh boy. Looks like we got Mandalorians here, but they're not going to try and kill me yet. This might be because they're the type of Mandalorians who are going to want to have a conversation first before they just straight up attack me.
Ah, so this is the meddler. You have caused us far too much trouble for a mere Jedi. I will add your head to those of the other Jedi I have killed and take yet another lightsaber for my own. Now you will know why the Mandalorians are feared.
Uh-huh. Kudos on me. Okay. Let's get everyone ready for this one. This one's gonna be fun. Okay. And you fire at that Doros over there. Holy shit. Oh man, he's got melee attack. Well, I mean, he's got a melee shield on. And of course my character dies. Yeah, she's firing on... Yeah, that's right. You might want to do something about that guy, Karth. Yep, okay. This isn't going well. I just saw that one coming. A part of me wanted to throw an adhesive grenade, but... Alright.
Ready?
Huh?
What?
Ah, so I will add...
Yep. Alright. He's gonna just activate a melee shield, but might as well run in there. Let's see, he's at a perfect spot too, so an adhesive grenade would definitely work. Okay. Holy crap, did they go through... Did they literally burn through my shield like that? I'll throw another adhesive grenade for good measure. Oh shit. Well, that's not good. You know, I could have swore I asked you to do this, but maybe I didn't. Oh, for God's sake. Yep. Alright. I could always just return to this, too. At some point. I just wish I had better robes or something. In fact, why didn't they give me fucking robes? This could also work. I mean, I guess why not? Let's see. I'm thinking... Disruptor would be nice, because it goes through shields. Well, maybe not an ion disruptor, but a disruptor pistol. That's if we're going to focus on the red Mandalorian, but I think we'll just go ahead and focus mainly on just attacking the smaller ones. Okay.
What?
Uh-huh.
Huh?
Sure.
Ah, so this... I will...
Because I know that he'll just stay in place if I do that. Which would be nice. At least it does that to the animal enemies. You throw a grenade, and... since we have grenades, why not just completely throw grenades at them? We could just kind of cheese this whole thing. Or, you know what? Throw concussion grenades. That'll bore you fucking dope. Okay, now that he's done for... Okay, and since he's distracted... Oh. Are you fucking serious? Move. Oh, for fuck's sake. Are you serious? Let's just throw another adhesive and another concussion. See how well this works out. Yeah, not so well. Okay. And he's just running over to mission. And that's great. Yep, okay. We can always come back to this a little later. And of course the sound effects always glitch out. That's just a constant thing with this game. This game is old, but man does it tend to glitch out in a few ways. Actually, did I loot everything from the Grove now that I think about it? I don't remember. Ay, ay, ay. Well, some enemies tend to spawn. You could farm in this game, but it takes forever to level up that way. They don't give that much XP. No, I did not. Seems like that's the only thing. Alright. Man, the sound is delayed in the game. That's just literally the game's problem. It has nothing to do with, like, the capture card or nothing. That's just how it is. Old ass game. It'll be interesting to see what a remake of this game would look like. I just hope that Sony doesn't fuck it up, because, well, they have, because of, you know, dumb ideas and reasons for what makes a successful video game, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a fucking Sony executive. I'm also someone who doesn't fucking drywall, like paints on drywall or something like that. I don't eat paint, I don't do anything. I mean, I would imagine that the only reason why you would try to stray from the things that would make something so successful is because you're fucking dumb and you have no idea how fucking shit works. And yes, I am hypercritical. I am very hypercritical about how video games should be made, and I feel like that if you're going to do something that deviates from the original basis of what makes a game good, you should at least do it in a way that is comparable to that style of game. Because not every Star Wars game could be a Jedi Survivor, or a fucking, a Jedi Academy even. Or a Jedi Knight series, really, not a Jedi Academy, but you get the point. Not every game could be like the other ones. It depends on the type of game and story you want to tell. And that's the fundamental reality of how games need to be developed, is that depending on what the focus is going to be, you need to focus on the things that make that game good, and not just on the things that you think is going to make it good. Because I can't imagine a scenario on God's green earth where you can make this game into an action game, like God of War or any of the other or a Naughty Dog or a weird Uncharted level Naughty Dog set piece type of video game. That's just not something that's possible. I'm starting to wonder if that is my capture card now. 1 second. There we go. Reset. Okay. Yeah, that kind of fixed. Yeah, that fixed it. Alright. And so we return. There's the droid that we saw from earlier.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't know what I would have done if I had lost him.
It's
just so great to have him back. We're just gonna go right home, right now, and celebrate. Aren't we, my lovely little droid? Don't worry. I'm gonna hug you and oil you and care for you and make sure you never, ever get away again.
okay. Well, that was a little weird. That's kind of what I half expected, though. I don't know why she's running in a direction of the Enclave, though. That's kind of dumb. Thought you were heading home.
Have you found the Mandalorian raiders yet?
I killed some of them on the plains.
Good. Good. Put them down like the animals they are. But now that you've killed some of them, they won't stop until you've defeated their leader. You must find him and kill him too.
I'll come back if I find their leader, I guess.
Thank you, young Jedi.
No problem. Kind of just breezed past you, but...
I hear you managed to return Juhani to the Order. Congratulations. I regret not being able to tell you more, but some things you must see with your own eyes. Is there something I can help you with?
Yes. I have a question about Dantooine.
Very well. What is it you wish to know?
I heard people mention Mandalorians.
Mandalorian raiders, yes. They have been preying on the settlers in the surrounding farms, stealing food, money, weapons. John was hit really hard recently. He lost his daughter.
What is that animation?
They were not a problem before, but now it would seem prudent to be rid of them. If you could accomplish this, it would not harm your training, and the settlers would greatly appreciate it. John is currently waiting to petition the council. He is on the path north of here. He might be able to tell you more about what had happened. Can I help with anything else?
Yeah, I've already gotten a good talking to him. I'd like to know more about you, I guess.
About me? I am truly flattered. What is it you wish to know?
What do you do here?
I am here by the will of the Jedi Council. I serve the good and, hopefully through that, the people of the Republic.
I see. Are you a member of the council?
I think perhaps you place an undue importance on rank and hierarchy. Understandable, but regrettable also. We each serve in our place, high or low. Is there something else I can help you with?
I'd like to know more about you.
About me?
Yep. So, who are you?
As I have said, I believe, my name is Nemo. I am here by the will of the Jedi Council.
That's it?
Indeed, my young friend, that I am. I have served the Council for many years, and have seen many apprentices pass through this enclave.
I want to ask you something else.
Is there some... about...
What kind of name is Nemo, anyway?
The importance you put in a name is misleading, young one. You, of all people, should remember that. Is there something else I can help you with?
Okay, good talk. I must be going.
I hope your time is well spent here on Dantooine.
Thanks. No. Yep, I'm definitely spending quite the time here on Dantooine. Who's this guy? Ah, yes, you are Jedi. I am grateful that your people harbor in my times of need. Harbor me in my times of need. What happened to you? I am a victim, a refugee. Yes, I flee. I fled from my world. Once the Sith fleet comes, they bomb my world. They scour the continent, spoil the ocean. Sith are bad, yes. Oh shit. The Republic fights but does not win. Not you to blame of course, no. The Sith are strong and destroy those who would oppose them, yes? My thanks to you have and your order. Is there anything else you require? You might give something back? After my flight, all I have left to give is my thanks, which your order gladly has. I must be going. Yes, yes, Jedi always have more to attend to. Good day, friend. Interesting. We can't enter the academy through this end, but we could if it was Knights of the Old Republic 2. I guess for some reason in Knights of the Old Republic 2, it is open. Mission seems rather distant. Maybe you should talk to her. Again? What for? Speak to Mission? Why not?
Hey there. What can I do for you?
I want to talk to you about your brother.
I'm sorry for the way I acted before. It's just that when it comes to Lena, I tend to get a little worked up.
Why do you hate her so much?
My brother and me had a good thing going. Sure, Griff had his run-ins with the law on Terrace, but we got by okay, until Lena came and ruined everything. She was a dancer at the cantina where my brother used to go play Pazik. Griff could be a real smooth talker, and it wasn't long before the two of them were dating. But Lena was used to dating rich Teresian nobles, guys with mountains of credits. Griff could never give her the lifestyle she was used to, no matter how hard he worked.
Why is this game so true to real life? The more I listen to these characters, sometimes the more I start to realize these characters are too realistic. That's a very bad thing in modern day times. People don't want realism, not true realism. They want carefully selected realism that placates to the ideas and sensibilities of the modern times, at least in a way that is palatable. I mean, women don't like to be told that they're gold diggers and that they tend to have a tendency to favor people with a penchant for charisma, i.e. sweet-talking or money, or even some level of influence. So, yeah. Anyways, moving on. Let's see, you mean no matter how much he stole. Did Lena dump him?
I thought thought Lena would brush Griff off when she saw how poor he was, but for some reason, she stuck around. I guess she saw the potential for a big payday down the road.
I see. Your fucking your own H-on tendencies is peering through, and this is not even a Japanese game. It's weird how this is happening. Sounds like you're jealous. Maybe she actually liked Griff. Sounds like you're jealous, almost. But I don't know if I want to say this. You know what, I'm gonna just say maybe she actually liked Griff.
I saw Lena for what she really was. A busty, credit-grubbing cantina rat. She used Griff and took away the only family I had. After they'd been together for a few months, Griff told me he was leaving Terrace. He and Lena were gonna try and make their fortune off-world. He promised as soon as he made enough credits he'd come back and get me, and we'd all live like royalty. That was 2 years ago. I haven't seen him since. I don't even know where he went.
I know some people develop a weird complex about family, especially if it's like your sole family member or whatever, but it's like, it's just so fucking funny that you see these kinds of tendencies even in people who you're related to. Like, I have seen certain cases, and even in real life, where sometimes the sister gets annoyed by the fact that the brother has some game, and there's somehow another woman in the mix, and it's like there's some kind of issue there when there really shouldn't be. It's not like they're both competing for his affections or any. Actually, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. I forget. I could go online right now, and I could find wives bitching about how their husbands pay more attention to their children and even fucking animals than they do them. I fucking forget. I fucking forget. It's not a problem of, like, romantic feelings. It's a problem of attention. They don't get enough attention. Anyways. So, maybe something happened to him.
Oh, I know what happened. As soon as she got him off Taurus, Lena sunk her claws into Griff butt good. She twisted him around her little finger and made him forget all about me. I know I'll probably never see Griff again. But part of the reason I came with you was the hope that I could find out what happened to my brother. Don't worry. I won't let the search for Griff get in the way of what we're doing. Let's just get back to the task at hand. Is there anything else I can help you with?
She needs so much attention. I get this feeling that she needs some type of attention. Clearly, from her brother, that she just doesn't get anywhere else. It's like, I'm not sure if it's and I'm not sure what to say about this other than the fact that she kind of needs to just move on from this. But do you know anything about the planet they were on? No. I'm not asking that, because I know what the answer's going to be.
Okay, have it your way.
But yeah, it's so funny. Because as much as they would like to pretend like, oh, I don't need anything, I don't need attention, I don't need catering to, I don't need any of this, they'll always want it. They always do. It's always in the back of their mind. They're just like, am I getting enough attention? Am I getting enough from my relationships? Is this person really benefiting me? And it's like, they don't say it, but they think it. And they don't like it when you bring attention to it either. It's like the worst fucking thing you can do, because women and truth just do not mix. And I know that sounds ridiculous. I know that sounds like I'm being a little too what's the best way to describe this? It's I know we're going into the women territory, but it's just like it's a lot of it is true. A lot of it is still surprisingly true. You look at every forum, you look at every places and every situations where women tend to congregate or tend to talk about certain things, they always complain about the same things, and they always do the same shit. It's like there's always a pattern, and if you actually pay attention to how they think and how they talk, it's always this. There's always a pattern, and it's usually on the concept of what is going on in my life right now and how is it benefiting me in the current moment. And I know that sounds egotistical. It may even sound self-centered, but that's just kind of how they are. And even when they're not trying to be, that's just how it be a lot of the time. That's not a knock against women. That's not a knock against anyone. That's just how it is sometimes, if not a lot of the time. They're just like, you know, like, what's going on in my life right now that is currently benefiting me in this current moment? And it's not an unreasonable thing to think about, but it's hard to really talk about anything involved on hits done DC 10 2 rounds for special. Oh, potential for stunning, neat. Why not? Anyways. But yeah, it's funny. I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny that when you really sit down and think about certain things, women just have an issue with like I am too busy focusing on upgrades right now. Need shiny fiber, why not? Now they're armored. Okay. Anyways. But yeah. Point being, without submerging too deep and just beating around this bush a little too much, women just have a way of thinking and doing things that is very different from anyone else's way of thinking and doing things. And by that I mean, like, from their male counterparts. We may have similar brains, and we may have similar, like, faculties and the way those faculties tend to function. But that doesn't mean that everything about us is the same. Because, neurologically speaking, we're hardwired very fundamentally differently than we are in actuality. Physically. Actually, even physically, we're very different too. I mean, and I could just go droning on and on about this, but I'm not going to. Let's just go ahead and report in about the accomplishment of our achievement.
It is good to see Juhani has returned to the way of the light. You are to be commended for your role in this. Your actions give us great hope for the future. Go to Master Jar and inform him that Juhani has returned to us. I think you may be nearing the end of your apprenticeship.
Yeah, let's hope so.
If you have questions, you should direct them toward the Jedi Council members.
That it?
If you have questions...
I guess so. Well, thanks, Bastila. You're fucking useful as all hell.
You have done well, my pupil. The ancient grove has been purified, and Juhani's journey down the dark path has been halted. Because of you, she walks once more in the light. But though she was saved, do not dismiss what happened to her. Juhani is both dedicated and true to the ideals of the Order, yet she was still vulnerable to the dark side, as are we all. She struck her master in anger during her training and injured her greatly. But it was Quatra's choice to test Juhani this way, and it seems to have made its point. Juhani has been redeemed, and you have passed your final test. Congratulations, apprentice. Or should I say, congratulations, Padawan. You have proven yourself worthy of joining the Jedi. Let me be the first to welcome you as a full-fledged member of our Order.
Thanks. Did I just get robes out of that? Yes, I did. Thank you. Been wanting this for a while. It gives some defense, but I don't really care for the defense when I have the force to compensate for it a little bit.
If you have questions, you should...
Alright, fine. So...
Your training is now complete, Padawan. And perhaps now, it is time we dealt with the matter of the dream you and Bastila shared.
Finally.
When we heard of the ruins in your dreams, Master Dorak recognized it as one of a series of ancient structures here on Dantooine. This one in particular lies to the east of this enclave. We sent a Jedi to investigate, but he has not returned. Perhaps sending him in the first place was a mistake. The Force is guiding you through your visions. It may be that exploring the ruins is a task tied to your destiny. That is why the Council has now decided you should be the one to investigate this. The secrets to stopping Malak may be hidden within those ruins. You must investigate them and find what Revan and Malak were looking for.
I will investigate the ruins right away. I like to ask some questions. What happened to the Jedi who went to investigate?
We do not know. That is one of the things you must investigate. We fear the worst. Is there anything else you want to know?
Okay. Is there anything you can tell me about Revan and Malak? Why doesn't Master Vrook like me? What can you tell me about Bastila?
Bastila will be a great Jedi someday. Even among the Masters in the Council, it is rare to find one so skilled in the art of battle meditation. Bastila was there when Revan was slain. Did you know that?
Karth mentioned something about that.
Bastila herself does not like to talk about it. She was accompanying the strike team that confronted Revan when the Dark Lord was destroyed. Her role in the death of such a promising young Jedi as Revan upset her greatly. But Bastila knew she had to set her personal feelings aside for the sake of the galaxy and the Republic. The Force is strong with her now. And without her skill in battle meditation, we would have lost this war long ago. The way ahead will be difficult for young Bastila. And for you. But you must draw strength from each other. May the Force be with you.
You know, it's actually kind of funny. They emphasize compassion in the Jedi Order, but they don't want you to get too intimately or romantically involved in the ramifications of that kind of stuff. Which I find is kind of funny.
I demand justice! The Sandral family is a blight upon Dantooine. They must be punished.
The Council will look into this matter, Mr. Matale. You must be patient. Your accusations have no proof. And we do not want you stirring up trouble with the Sandrals if there is some mistake.
Mistake? My son Shen is missing. How can there be any doubt the Sandrals are to blame?
There are other possible explanations for your son's disappearance.
Ah, you Jedi are good for nothing but talk. I shall only wait so long before I take action on my own.
As dangerous as the threat from Darth Malak and the Sith may be, we Jedi cannot simply abandon our other responsibilities. The Council has promised Alan Matale we will look into his son's disappearance. Should you have time, Padawan, you may want to investigate this matter.
Okay. But what about my training?
Your study and training are important, of course. But the Jedi are not a cloistered order. Our influence and teachings must spread beyond the walls of our academies.
It is in the real world that we truly prove ourselves worthy of the title Jedi. You would do well to remember this, young Padawan.
The task has its own importance. It may also serve to divert our minds for a short time. Something which carries its own rewards.
Well, okay. It's been a while, Bastila. I would like to have your lightsaber, but...
Yes?
You can keep it. For now, we're gonna go ahead and just get your lightsaber upgraded. Now it does a little bit of something. Oh yeah, I wonder if Zar has anything to... Oh, he's not even there anymore.
I have nothing left to teach you, Padawan, though a Jedi is ever learning. Even the Masters know their training is but in its infancy. Now is the time for you to seek wisdom outside the training chambers. The lessons that yet await you are to be found beyond the walls of this academy. You should speak to the Council, Padawan. Now that the first stage of your training is complete, I am certain they would be eager to have you aid us in our struggle against Darth Malak and the Sith.
Well, that's great. And I could talk to them, but I'm pretty sure I've already exhausted a lot of the things that they could say. I can always come back later to talk to them too.
I must give you my thanks. Because of you, I am once again welcome within the Jedi Order.
Have you spoken to the Council? Did you learn anything more about KotOR?
KotOR's injuries were not so severe as I first believed. I was foolish to believe I could harm a master such as she with my clumsy efforts. The fierce confrontation between us was nothing more than part of my training. KotOR wanted me to understand the threat of the dark side, to see how easy it was to fall from the path of light.
Is that so? That's pretty harsh, I want to say, but at the same time, I think that's actually a pretty good exercise, actually. So where's KotOR now?
After our last battle, KotOR had nothing left to teach me. I needed time alone to explore the turmoil of my own spirit. Only then was I ready to follow a guide. You. Back to the light. When I left, KotOR knew her work with me was done. There are other disciples who need training throughout the galaxy, and she could not stay to see if I passed this most difficult trial. With your help, I have passed this difficult trial. The Council now feels I am ready to continue with my training, though they have asked me to wait here for the time being.
Hey, I'm glad to see you're not getting hung up on all this. The past is in the past, you know?
This has been a painful lesson, Juhani, but it seems you have learned it well. I'm certain you will be a credit to the Order.
I do not know what the Council has in store for me, but I will trust in the Force and the way of the Jedi to help me through whatever is to come.
That's pretty neat. I want to say it's a little weirdly dangerous and manipulative for KotOR to just, like, up and leave her and then just allow her to fall to the dark side, get a taste of it, even just a little bit, and potentially put her life in danger just to prove a point, but... I think it's actually a pretty good idea and a necessary one. Because, I mean, you see how dangerous the Jedi are, and you see how easy it is that they could flirt and fall to the dark side. I think that learning this lesson is just as important as, you know, understanding what it is as understanding why it's, so dangerous. Understanding the dark side and understanding its allure is going to help reinforce you and how you approach circumventing the allure of it that much more. What the hell is happening with my companions? And I think that having that little bit of a taste of it, that helps tremendously. Because now it's going to only reinforce how you approach things going forward.
One of our own had strayed, but you have returned, Juhani, to the Order. For this, you deserve the highest praise.
Well, thanks. I know she gives us quite a talking to if we were to kill her. You didn't even try to save her, did you? It's literally what she said. She literally throws a temper tantrum. It's funny to see mantis rays flying in the sky. Look at that shit. They fly in the sky like birds.
How may I be of assistance?
Who are you?
My name is Gar.
A pleasure.
Yeah.
Ever since with the jet, there is there. Those Mandalorian. I'm not. Is there a?
What about John and his daughter?
His daughter was killed by Mandalorians when their farm was raided. He's been taking it pretty hard. If you want to ask him about it, he's just north of here. It's not my place to say anything else. Is there anything else you require?
That animation is so fucking weird.
Farewell, then. May the...
How long until my next level up, I wonder? It's a little bit of ways. Please allow myself to introduce myself. I am Adun, a simple merchant with much noble purpose. Purpose? Yes, purpose. The settlers and noble humans of Dantooine have been plagued by cat hounds, raiders, and other fearsome troubles of late. It is much, much too sad to see these things happen to such people as this. Therefore, I have made this my mission to be. You're trying to sell me something, aren't you? To overcome their troubles, they must be able to defend themselves. Therefore, I shall offer the highest of quality of weapons at the lowest of low prices for them. I am here offering you much in the way of weaponry at low, low prices. How can any sentient pass up such a bargain? They cannot. Weaponry it is, and weaponry I have. What is it you would like from me this fine day? Let me see what you're selling, I guess. Cassius Fett's battle armor. He just happens to sell battle armor by a Fett. Flamethrower. Let's go ahead and sell some shit since we're here. I want to sell... Holy crap, that's a lot of red crystals. We do not need this many red crystals. I think 4 is fine. Let's see, blaster pistols. We don't need too many of these. Okay, where are they? I am looking for the obvious things that I don't need. Here they are. I do not need mines. I never use them. I've never used them in any playthrough. Plus, I'm not that much of the skulking type. Back in the plains. Well, I guess we'll go do the Matale thing, since that seems to be the biggest problem right now. So there's... the Matales are missing their son called Shen, and I guess we just need to ask questions. Let's see. There's a compound up here. I know it belongs to one of the 2 parties involved, so let's see if we can ask some questions. Matale droid.
This is private property. By what authority are you trespassing on this estate?
I come on behalf of the Jedi Council. I wish to speak to Alon Matale.
You have come from the Jedi Council. Master Matale wishes to speak with you. I will inform him that you are here. Remain at this location until he arrives.
My protocol droid tells me you are here on behalf of the Council. I was beginning to think my demands had been ignored, though I think your time would be better spent interrogating the Sandrels as to the whereabouts of my son Shen.
Yes, yes, we know. Your feud with the Sandrels, but we need to go through the process of asking questions. So, why are you so certain the Sandrels are to blame?
Many years ago, I brought my family here to Dantooine to escape the crush of humanity on the KotOR worlds. Soon after we settled here, the Sandrels arrived, and they have been a plague upon my house ever since. The injustices the Sandrels have committed against the Matales are far too numerous to name. But the Council is well aware of our many disputes. Recently, I discovered several Sandral droids trespassing on my land.
What were they doing here? What happened to the droids? What were they doing here?
I have no idea what nefarious purpose lay behind their arrival. My own assassination, perhaps? Destruction of my property? Maybe a simple spy mission? I wasn't about to find out. My own security droids destroyed the invaders. Not a single one survived. It was shortly after this incident that Shen, my only son and heir to the Matali estate, vanished. Obviously, Nurik, the unscrupulous head of the Sandral clan, has abducted my son in retaliation for the destruction of his droids.
Okay. I'll admit it's suspicious, but I'm not ruling anything out. Where can I find the Sandrals?
Follow their stink south of here and you shall find them. I demand action on this matter, Jedi. Why does the Council insist on stalling? The life of my son is at stake. Is it possible? Yes, of course. Now I understand. I am a man of the world, Jedi. I know how things are done. I will make a contribution of 1,000 credits to the Council in exchange for rescuing Shen from the Sandrals. I will present the credits directly to you, of course. Whether the Council ever learns of this donation is completely up to you.
Okay. That just came out of left field, but... I understand you are upset, Alon Matale. Rest assured I will find Shen. Make it 2,000, you have a deal. A Jedi cannot be bought. I will remain neutral despite your attempted bribe. I understand you are upset, Alon Matale. Rest assured I will find Shen.
Nevertheless, my offer still stands. 1,000 credits for Shen's safe return. Know, however, that I will not sit idly by much longer. Eventually, I will take whatever action is necessary to rescue my son, including raising the entire Sandral estate. Until you find Shen, Jedi, we have nothing further to discuss. I suggest you hurry south to their estate, lest I take matters into my own hands.
Christ. Alright, so that's what we're working with here, it seems. But, actually, there's probably some animals, well, some calf hounds that I could probably slaughter on my way there. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright. Well, yeah, that seems to be the kind of quest this is. I can already tell what this kind of quest is going to turn out to be. I already know how it's going to play out, but you could definitely get a pretty good sense of how this is probably going to go. It's, two families feuding. Both of them clearly don't like each other, so one of them's got a bone to pick, and it's just going to take one person doing something stupid for, well, taking it to stand. There we go. That thing's dead. Damn, Bastila. Didn't have to do him dirty like that.
Take that!
I'm hitting more frequently now. It's probably because there's a dexterity bonus to these robes. That's probably why. I wonder if using the prototype vibroblade now will yield better results. No, one could probably testify how effective Flurry is. Which is fuck all. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I spoke too soon. Oh yeah, maybe I spoke too soon. It's amazing how the right type of uniform will help. Dead Settler. Cassis's diary. This is the diary of Cassis Sandral, amateur archaeologist. It details his efforts to discover the source of the ancient ruins found across the surface of Dantooine. Upon reading it, you gather that he had found some correlation between the ruins and something called the Rack. What this has to say about anything is beyond me. Has ordered you to investigate the ruins. Dead settler. You have found the dead body of Cassis Sandral. The journal you found on the body tells that he was an amateur archaeologist who was investigating strange ruins across the Dantooine, but the wounds on his body, it would seem that he was mauled to death by Kath hounds. What are we supposed to do about this information? Deliver it to the Sandrals, maybe? I don't see why not. I guess.
I'm here.
I'm here. Get some of that force speed going. Go through here faster. I don't know why it has to blur the vision of your character. Well, I guess it makes... Well, then again, I guess it makes sense. If you're going fast enough, the wind is going to start to affect your eyes. Still a bit weird.
What?
What?
Return the young master. Return the...
Okay. But I found one of your dead family members, but alright. Well, I guess I'll just hold on to this. I don't remember what this is for. So I'm just gonna hold on to it and assume that it'll become apparent at some point. I guess maybe I spoke too soon about the offhanded thing, but at least I'm actually hitting things more consistently. Dexterity boost is probably what's doing it. So, of course, the question now is, can I kill those people? Especially since Bastel is here.
What?
I'm here.
What?
Alright. What's Bastel's equipment looking like, too? It's not too bad. Let's see. Will and awareness? That actually might be useful for my character. Okay. Shall we try this again? See how well this goes this time.
Huh?
Yes?
Yes?
Huh?
Yes?
Yes? Ah.
I didn't mean to just jump right into it, but... don't know. Maybe it'd be too dangerous to just throw a grenade in there, but... No, why not? Let's kill all the weaklings. Holy shit. Maslow, do some healing like this instant. The character, why didn't you go and attack? Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Alright, well. Honestly, I kind of expected that might happen anyways. Yeah, these Mandalorians are not to fucking... are not to be trifled with. Can I make it past them without triggering the cutscene is now the major question. Yes. Back to here. I want a double-bladed lightsaber, but I'm just gonna find one off of a dead corpse if I can. There shouldn't be anything in the caves, right? But I have this feeling that I'm gonna find out what this dead settler's data pad thing is gonna be used for eventually. Well, we made it to the Sandrill estate.
How can I help?
I didn't want to talk to you.
Then I suggest we...
This is private property. By what authority are you trespassing on this estate?
Can't you tell by the lightsaber? I'm come on behalf of the Jedi Council.
The Council? If you are here because of Shen Matale's disappearance, you are wasting your time. The Santos are not involved. This is nothing but a Matale witch hunt.
Uh-huh. I am not in league with the Matales, but I must speak to Nurek.
Nurek left orders he was not to be disturbed, but given the circumstances, I will make an exception. Go into the main hall. Nurek will meet with you there.
Okay.
I have been informed by my protocol droid that you wish to speak to me.
I want to ask you about the disappearance of Shen Matale.
I feel great sorrow at the young Matalia's disappearance, but they are not the only family to suffer such a tragedy. Dantooine is a dangerous place. My own son, Cassius, has been missing for some time now. But I know nothing about the disappearance of Shen. Perhaps he and Cassius now share a similar fate.
Yeah, about your son. Your son is... Cassius is dead. I have seen his body.
Cassius is dead? I was afraid of this. Yet in my heart I knew it must be true. What happened to my son?
He was killed by Cathhounds while exploring the Dantooine ruins.
Cathhounds? I was so certain the Matali family was to blame. But this changes nothing. My own son is dead. Why should I shed one tear about the disappearance of my bitter enemy's son?
Typical. Anything to continue the feud which has become so customary to you people.
I must ask you something, though it is difficult for me. My son had a diary, his private, personal thoughts. Now that he is gone, I have nothing else to remember him by. Please, the diary means more to me than it ever could to you. I will give you 100 credits for its return.
Fucking 100? Really? It's kind of chump change, don't you think? I'm not complaining, I guess, but let's see. Here's the diary, Nuruk. You may keep your money. I need no reward for this task.
I thank you for this. The diary is all I have left of my son. We have nothing further to discuss. Please, leave me to my grief.
I'm not done asking questions. That's why I wanted to save it.
You are here from the council, are you not? Looking for Shen Matale?
Do you know something about Shen's disappearance?
My name is Rahasia. Nurik is my father. He has not been himself since Cassius disappeared. He is mad with grief, and he is convinced the Matales are responsible. He's not thinking rationally.
Does this have anything to do with what happened to Shen?
My father is a good man. When my mother died, he raised me and my brother by himself. He loves his children, and we love him. I just don't want you to judge him too harshly.
I only want to find Shen.
You must understand that Father has been under a terrible strain. I have no wish to disobey him, but there are matters where even my father's authority is not absolute.
Okay. Please tell me what has happened.
My father has kidnapped Shen Matale. He is holding him prisoner here in the compound. He feels this is a way to get back at the Matales, a way to get even for the disappearance of my brother Cassius.
I see. Well, there is the answer we seek. The Jedi Council should be informed of this at once.
No. Since Cassius went missing, my father has become unstable. He might hurt him if you do that. He no longer even cares if the Matales are responsible for what happened to Cassius. I'm afraid my father will simply kill Shen out of a mad, misguided lust for vengeance.
God, he sounds like a Sith. Jesus. Why are you telling me all this?
Shen is an innocent victim in all this. My father is not a bad man, but his grief has driven him to madness. He must be stopped. Please, find Shen and rescue him before my father does something he will regret forever. I would take you to the prison, but I cannot let my father see me with you. Take this key. It will open an unguarded door at the rear of the estate. You and Shen can make your escape through there. There are many security droids guarding the halls. Please hurry. You are Shen's only hope.
What is the problem between your families?
Alan Matale and my father have had problems ever since they settled on this world. To hear my father tell it, Alan is a brute and a bully, but a rich one. He feels his credits give him the right to step all over normal people. My father stands up to Alan because no one else will. But now he thinks Alan has taken my brother Cassius and has imprisoned Shen as revenge. Please find Shen and free him. You are my only hope.
Okay. I did not need the "You're my only hope" line, but I will take it. Well, now we know how thick this thread goes. Boy, oh boy. So he has kidnapped the Matale and is now holding him hostage inside the compound. Rather unfortunate. Well, time to do our rescue operation. Holy crap, right off the bat we're getting shot.
Yes? Huh?
You know what to do, mission. Mines, recover.
Yes?
Or just stand there, character. Log out.
What can I do?
Yeah?
Slice that computer, mission. It's calling you. View North Hall. Accessing. Corrupt patrol droid targeting program. No. View South Hall. View security computer room. We're already there. Central security room. Overlook computer power conduits. No. View repair room. No. Storage? So much crap. Alright. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Nothing else here? Alright. What's at footlocker number 1?
What can I do?
What?
Correction? What can we lockpick out of footlocker number 1?
Gotcha. Simple.
Great.
What?
This is just a door to a hall. This is just a bedroom. And here's one of the rooms. These droids go down pretty easily. Prison key. There's Rahasia.
Please, find Shen and rescue him before my father does something he will regret forever. I would take you to the prison, but I cannot let my father see me with you. There are many security droids guarding the halls. Please hurry. You are Shen's only hope.
Why do you care about Shen?
Shen and I, we have been taught by our families to hate each other, just for being related to our fathers. But I met Shen alone one day in the city, away from his father, and Shen was so charming, so sweet. He didn't care at all that I was a Sandral. He just accepted me for who I was, with no reservations. We talked and met again over months and fell in love. My brother Cassius met him too, and they were beginning to become friends. But then this whole mess had to happen. Please find Shen and free him. You are my only hope.
Keep saying that, but it kind of loses its value the more you do it. But I get you. Man, oh man. We're having a real Romeo x Juliet type scenario. Or just Romeo and Juliet type of scenario. Because I know that's an actual thing or something. Pro tag leveled up. Skills. Affect mind. Oh, I can get an upgrade to that force push if I wanted to. But you know, that force whirlwind nonsense is not that great. I mean, it incapacitates an enemy, but it doesn't really do much when it comes to surrounding enemies. Two remaining powers. Wow, I have more than one. Did I have that in the last one too? Okay, let's get stun. This will stun how many people? "12 seconds. I was hoping it would affect a group of people, but get some of that lightsaber throw action. Pretty sure I looked at this, or not. Maybe not. Across the board. There's a locker here. Sonic rifle. Neat. Alright, this leads back to here. Let's go to the other end now. Likely find Shen further over. Probably where that mine is. Okay.
Yes? What?
Yes?
Well, there he is. Let's go ahead and take a look up here for a second.
I'm here.
Huh? Gotcha. Simple. Gotcha. Simple.
Boy, oh boy. Advanced med pack.
What?
Alright. Ladies, do you need to get in my way? Alright. Let's go ahead and rescue Shen, since that's everything. I don't know why we can't enter this room. Non-family members are not permitted to entrance. Alright.
Who are you? What do you want with me? Are you working for my father?
Okay. I am here to rescue you, Shen.
Rescue me? No. I won't leave. It's too dangerous.
I'll protect you, Shen. Let's go.
It's not my own safety I'm concerned about. I'm worried about the fate of Nurik's daughter, Rahasia. She's been trying to convince her father to release me ever since I was captured. If I escape, Nurik will think Rahasia is to blame. Nurik is insane with grief over the loss of his son, Cassus. If I leave with you, it is Rahasia who will suffer. I cannot allow that.
okay, but why would he do that to his own daughter? I kind of see what you're saying, but I don't see what you're saying at the same time. It's like, I get that you care about her, but it's like, Jesus Christ, you really think he's that far gone that he's just gonna abuse his daughter? How can I get you to come with me?
If you can convince Rahasia to escape with us, I will accompany you. Though I do not know if she'd be willing to turn her back on her home and family. Who could imagine a Sandral doing such a thing for the sake of a Matali? But if she will not go, then I too shall stay. I would rather face my own death than have her face her father's wrath because I escaped.
Gee, aren't you fucking manly? But you realize that honor and pride, it doesn't exactly mean much if you're dead. Honor, certainly. Pride, not so much. The only thing that people will remember you for, though, in this situation is going to be how you died. And not so much the life you lived. Only your family's going to remember that, and you live out in the sticks, so the only people who's going to remember you is your family. I'm just saying, you dying here isn't going to mean much. But anyways, why do your families hate each other so much?
My father thinks the Sandrals are thieves and liars who followed him here to Dantooine just to steal what he's earned for himself. My father is an egotist and can be violent at times, but I think he still cares for me. Rahasia's father seems to be falling into the same pattern as mine. They're both too unreasonable to be talked to about the other. I think the only hope Rahasia and I will ever have is if we can escape both of them. Please, find Rahasia and speak to her. Get her to flee this place with me.
I mean, yeah, I could do that, but it's just strange. I don't know why he would do something like that. I mean, he'd have to be pretty fucked in the head to think that his daughter could be responsible, and that his best course of action would be to fucking kill or abuse his daughter. It doesn't make sense in my mind. It kind of jives. It goes against instincts.
What are you doing here? Have you found Shen yet?
Especially paternal instincts. I'm trying to rescue Shen, but he won't leave without you.
Shen can be so stubborn sometimes. If one of the security droids sees me wandering the halls, Father will get suspicious. I can't risk it. But I know Shen would rather die than leave me here alone to face the wrath of my father. Tell Shen I will meet you outside the gates. I will wait as long as I can, but you must hurry.
Well, that was simple at least. Even though I kind of didn't understand what the hell she was trying to say. Oh, I'm just gonna meet you outside, but I can't go with you.
You're back. Have you spoken to Rahasia?
Yeah, she promised she would meet us outside the gates.
I pray she is not just telling me what I want to hear, but I will have to take that chance. Hurry then, we must not keep Rahasia waiting.
But I kind of get it. It still doesn't matter though, because once she's gone, he's gonna, Yurik is gonna put two and two together.
Safe.
Rahasia! Well, thank goodness you managed to escape.
It was all thanks to this kind Jedi that we managed to get this far at all. I thank you, Jedi, for all that you have done for us.
Yeah. We should get out of here quickly.
You're right. We should go as fast as we can. I don't know how long it will be before my father realizes we're gone.
You're right. We should.
Well, this is off to a fantastic start. Oh boy. It's a real old Mexican standoff.
There you are, Shen.
Father!
Mr. Matale.
Rahasia!
Father!
Mr. Sandral!
Yurik!
Alan!
I knew this was all your doing. I knew you had captured my son.
You had taken my Cassus from me long before that. You started it.
I don't want to hear any of your excuses. Now I will get revenge for your transgressions.
You both do realize, especially you, Mr. Sandral, that Cassus died by a cat hound. It had nothing to do with the Metales, but whatever. Let's just shoot each other and get it over with. You two just need to calm down, I guess.
Please listen to him, Father.
Why should I listen to the Jedi? All you want is to remain with that Sandral harlot.
My daughter is not a harlot, Matale dog!
Why don't you try listening to your children?
Our children don't know enough of what's good for them to make a reasonable decision.
It's better to let older, wiser heads like ours make the decisions.
Rahesia and I don't want you to make decisions for us. We want to live alone away from you.
You insolent boy! If you want to live alone, then so be it. I disown you. Never set foot in my house again.
Will you go with Shen and Rahesia?
Rahesia, you will not leave with this Matale boy.
I am, Father, and you can't stop me. We're leaving for the Enclave.
You foolish girl.
Let them go.
You expect us to just let them leave? Droids, stop them!
You will not turn your droids on my daughter. Droids, don't let them take Rahesia.
We appear to be at an impasse then. And they got away.
It is your fault, darling. You were always too violent for your own good.
Me? You were the one who rushed out here with war droids.
Shut up.
Do not tell me what to do, Jedi. The Council will hear of the trouble you caused here today. Indeed they shall.
Good. Tell them. I don't fucking care. They're gonna think you're a bunch of crazy people anyways. And you know, surprisingly, these kind of disputes are not that uncommon out in the sticks. I'm just saying. I should know. I have seen people who live out in the sticks. I have met many people, and it is, and I've heard some interesting stories. One of those stories being like how two neighbors ended up shooting at each other, taking potshots on one another because they fucking hated each other that much. They're basically the Matales and Sandrels of this of this game, and I thought that was funny. Padawan, your arrival here is well timed. What do you want? I am Boluk, a Jedi from the Enclave. I was sent by the Jedi Council to investigate a killing that took place here a few hours ago. Communication does not pose a problem, as both the suspects and I speak basic and Huttese. I was going to handle this case myself, but now that you are here, this could be an excellent opportunity for you to demonstrate how well you have been learning your lessons at the Academy. Though you are not yet a full Jedi, perhaps you could assist me in sorting out the truth from the lies. What do you want me to do? Listen to the stories given by the two suspects. I have brought an information retrieval droid with access to the archives both at the Jedi Enclave and the planetary capital. I will use my wisdom and experience to offer you some guidance, but I will not solve the case for you. There is little benefit if you do not solve this problem yourself. Consider each man's accounts and check the facts with the information droid. Once you have gathered all the evidence you think you need, run through the possible scenarios with me. If you are unable to come to a satisfactory resolution, then I will take these men to the Enclave and deal with this myself. According to the accounts of the participants, these three men were out here in the field together earlier, before the clouds broke. I find that very odd, for most people would seek shelter indoors when the sky is filled with dark storm clouds, as it was earlier today, but that is not the most puzzling aspect of the case. The dead man, Caldernetic, was shot in the back with a blaster rifle. A rifle was found lying near his body with bloodstains on it. It has been sent back to the Enclave for analysis. Two other men were found at the scene when I arrived. One was hand and cold. He was unarmed. The other was Rickard Lusov, who was carrying a hunting laser. Both men say they did not do anything, and they came across the body, but both also accuse the other. Obviously, there is more to this than what we have been told. Is there anything else I should know? There is one last thing. When I arrived, Handon was holding his side and Rickard was favoring one of his legs. You would do well to remember this as we progress through the case. Is there anything else you need? I will remain here while you question the witnesses. Okay. And suddenly we're playing detective. Well, first things first, let's go ahead and investigate the crime scene. The body of KotOR. He was apparently shot from behind with a blaster. Let's go ahead, armed with information.
Greetings, Padawan. You must be the one Master Baluk has enlisted to help him with this problem. I am an information retrieval droid. I can assist you by accessing the records of both the Jedi Enclave and the central government facilities here on Dantooine. If you have any need of my services, please do not hesitate to talk to me. I have already retrieved some information from the archives on KotOR, Rickard Lusov, and Handon Gould. I have also had time to examine the body of Mr. Netic. Is there any information you require?
Yes. What did you find out about the body?
My preliminary analysis of the body indicates that he was killed approximately 3 hours ago by a single energy blast to the torso. Is there any other information you need?
Tell me about the plains?
These plains are rife with wild animals, not all of them benign. The Iriars are mostly docile, but can easily be provoked to violence. Calfhounds, on the other hand, are much more deadly. There have been over 35 catalogued attacks on settlers by calfhounds in the last 2 weeks. A general advisory was given out 3 days ago to carry a weapon at all times when on the plains. Small farms and holdings dot the plains and can provide safe refuge for those in need. Is there any other information you need?
What did you find out about the body? I will have more questions later.
Very well. I will be here to assist you.
I guess we'll talk to one of you.
Another Jedi, huh? Helping that Twi'lek investigate, no doubt. He seems stumped. I'm Rickard Lusov. Maybe you can figure this out and let me get out of here.
Tell me what happened.
Well, I was out hunting Iriaz when I spotted one over here by the bridge. I pull out my rifle and aim at it. I couldn't see it that well, mind you, because the damn sun was in my eyes. So I shoot it and it drops. I walk over here and find Handon standing over Calder's body. So why don't you get this whole farce over with and send that whiner Handon to the prison he belongs in?
Okay.
Ah, greetings. You must be assisting Master Baluk in his investigation. I'm Handon Gould. Perhaps you've heard of me?
No.
Well, I presume you wish to hear my story, then. I shall tell you, of course, but there's not much to it. I'm sure that you'll agree that Rickard is quite obviously guilty of murder. You see, I was out here running earlier today. Yes, running. I do that a lot. Can't stand speeders, never use them. Keeps me in shape, too, you know. Anyway, I was out running on the other side of that bridge there, and all of a sudden I heard a shot coming from over here. I ran over and found this man Calder lying on the ground, dead.
Did you see the killer?
I saw Rickard come skulking out of the shadows of the rocks south of the river. I knew something was wrong. I hit my emergency button and called the Enclave right away. Well, there. That's my story. Now, please hurry this up and arrest Rickard so I can get on with my day.
Okay. So that seems to be the story we're running with right now. Can we get an idea as to how and where he was shot? We know he was shot in the back, right?
Is there any other...
What do you find out about the body? Find anything else?
My preliminary analysis of the body indicates that... Is there any other...
I guess that's it. Nope.
Very well.
Yes, is there something I can do to help you in this investigation? I want to discuss the murder. Very well, we shall start at the beginning. If we find the truth behind each piece of the puzzle, we will no doubt resolve the case. Handon said that he was nearby and heard a shot and ran over, only to find Calder already dead. He said Rickard came out of the shadow of the rocks, holding a blaster in his hands. Rickard said that he was hunting Iriaz, saw one through the glare of the sun, and shot at it. It is possible that Rickard may have shot Calder accidentally and Handon may have found the body, but that seems a very unlikely explanation. It is more likely that at least one of them was lying. Obviously, one of these men is not telling us something, but where does the truth lie? I think Rickard is lying. Why do you believe that? It was cloudy. There was no sun glare. Yes, well done. It was very cloudy this morning. If it had happened, as Rickard said, the sun would not have been visible at the time of the killing. You seem to have caught Rickard in a bit of a lie. It seems I was correct in assuming you could help me with this case. This lie doesn't prove Rickard is guilty, but I think you have taken the first step in unraveling the mystery. We should proceed on to the next point. We need to find a motive for the killing. Maybe you should talk to the men about the relationship with the victim. If there is anything else you need, I will remain here while you question the witnesses. Donkin Rumpa, this is not... Oh, that might actually be a fun series to romp through, but you know what? I think I mentioned this before, actually, but... I mean, I already know the mysteries of the game. So I don't know if that'd be a good idea. I'm thinking about it. Maybe not. Maybe one day, but it will not be this day.
So, what do you want to know?
Did you know the victim? Why were you out here? Why would someone want to kill him? Bullock said you were limping. Are you hurt?
Well, I kind of sprained my ankle running through the bush before I found the body, but it's nothing that serious.
I want to ask you something else.
So, what do you want to know?
Why would someone want to kill him?
You Jedi are so predictable, always seeing some greater purpose behind everything, when the simple answer is usually the right one. Can't you see that it must have been Handon? I found him standing over the damned body. I don't know why this is causing you so much trouble. You almost seem as lost as this Bullock guy.
Ask a question and I get lit.
So, what do you want to know?
Okay, did you know the victim?
Yeah, I knew him. Hell, we've known each other for a good long time. Doesn't mean I really have to have liked the slime ball. Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on him. Especially now that he's dead. We actually got along pretty well most of the time. We just had our differences. We were actually business partners. We were involved in some orbit-to-ground transport operations for Aerotech. Can I leave now? I should probably be the one to give the news to his wife.
Okay.
So, what do you want to know?
Nothing.
Right.
Funny. Anyways.
How can I be of further assistance?
Did you know the victim? Why are you out here? You're holding your side. Are you injured?
Injured? No, of course not. Why would I have been? Fit as a bathtub. I run. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Okay.
How can I be of further assistance?
He was clearly trying to fucking play that off, but okay. Why would someone want to kill him?
Well, you see, Calder was involved in some pretty sordid business from time to time. More often than not, I've heard. Disreputable business practices, even more disreputable clients. I've even heard he had dealings with a hut here on Dantooine. Now, I bet you're wondering if I had any reasons to kill the man, but I tell you, I hardly knew him. I saw him once or twice, yes, and I've heard some pretty unkind things about him, but certainly nothing that would make me want to kill him.
No one says you killed him yet.
I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit agitated. Why must we remain here? Can't you see that Rickard must have shot him?
I want to ask you something else.
How can I be of further assistance?
Did you know the victim?
I knew him a little bit, but I was not any sort of great friend to him or anything. I never really associated with him that much. In truth, I didn't really want to. He had a reputation. Very inconsiderate of family, I heard. But merely having heard unkind things about someone wouldn't make me want to kill him.
No one says you killed him yet.
I'm sorry,
That's all.
Of course. Listen, if you need anything, I shall be glad to assist.
Uh-huh. You're really slipping up here, you know.
Is there any other information you need?
What can you tell me about Calder and Handon?
The Southwood Speeder rental business has records that over the past several weeks, a speeder had been rented by Mr. Nettic and Mr. Gould. Is there any other information you need?
Okay. What do you know about Calder and Rickard?
According to the municipal authorities near the Garen spaceport, there had been news of violent drunken activity in a cantina attached to the port. Apparently, a Mr. R. Lusoff was making accusations at a Mr. C. Nettic about cheating him in a business deal. Jedi Tuka was dispatched to the scene and restored order. Is there any other information you need?
That's an interesting story. Nothing else.
Very well.
So, what do you want to know?
Okay, so you thought Calder was cheating you?
Now, I don't love Calder, but we go back a long way. We run a suborbital shipping and transport company out of Garang Spaceport. We've been partners in that business for well over 20 years, and we've been doing just fine the way we are.
We could deny it, but there was a bad blood between you.
Right.
How can I be of further assistance?
You knew Calder better than you admit. You rented a speeder with him.
But I realize this must seem like a motive to you, but I assure you it isn't. I dislike Calder, true. I would punch his face in, given the opportunity, but I would not kill him.
Punch his face in? Why?
My wife was cheating on me with him. I slept in my own bed while I was in the next room. But, as much as I may hate him for that, I could not kill him. It may have been my own fault for driving my wife away. I must try not to take the law into my own hands. I was just out running, trying to clear my head for the divorce proceedings, not stalking him to kill him. Running is not a crime.
Uh-huh. And being a cuck is certainly not the greatest thing in the world. Good motivations you certainly have. But, yeah, you can try to excuse this all you want, but this is a little too convenient for this not to be intentional.
How can I be of further assistance?
So, nothing else.
Of course.
Yes, is there something I can do to help you in this investigation? I want to discuss the murder. We know Rickard lied about the sun blinding him while he was shooting, but we need more to go on. Let's examine the relationship of each man with a victim. Hannah told me he barely knew the victim. On the other hand, Rickard and the victim were business partners. However, according to Rickard, they got along quite well. On the surface, neither man seems to have a motive for killing Calder. I want to say hand in his line. Why do you believe that? He knew his wife was cheating on him. Well, that certainly is a motive for murder. The case is taking shape. However, you mustn't jump to any quick conclusions. Perhaps we should now focus on the murder weapon itself. You might want to see what the information the witnesses and the information droid can provide you about the blaster found near the body. Is there anything else you need? I will remain here while you question the witnesses. I suppose it's probably more apt to say this is more like Phoenix Wright, or AI Somnium Files. I have not played that game. I have watched someone play through the entirety of the first game, and I was going to watch someone play through the entirety of the second one, but I haven't actually gotten around to finishing that series, so... You know, now that I think about it, I guess if there was a playthrough I could start, it'd probably be that one, but...
Is there any other information you need?
It's made by the same publisher, anyways, of Danganronpa, but... You know, that's actually an interesting question. Why does Spike Chunsoft like murder mysteries? Tell me about the weapon found at the scene.
We cannot get any more specific analysis from that sample, other than the fact it did not belong to Calder. Is there any other information you need?
Is that so? It's a little weird.
Very well.
So, what do you want to know?
What about the weapon found by the body?
That blaster? Never seen it before. Calder himself had a preference for Ichani weaponry. He had this one really nice light blaster rifle that he always used. Always wished I could get myself a rifle like the one he had. That blaster ain't it, though. Calder only had the one rifle, too, so he either must have borrowed that, or it's someone else's.
Okay, that's all for
right.
now.
So, what do you want to...
God damn it.
Right.
How can I be of further assistance?
What do you know about the weapon found by the body?
That blaster was stolen from my house last week. I never knew what happened to it. I hardly have enough money to afford a single blaster, let alone another. I can't tell you how important it is to have a weapon on hand with all these ravenous cat hounds around. Even an Iriaz can take a man down if it gets in the mood. Every settler has a weapon. It's our most prized possession. I would most appreciate it if I could have that back after you determine that Rickard is the killer. How can I be of further assistance?
You're really dead set on him being the killer, aren't you? Okay, I'm gonna come right out and say it. You wanted to kill Calder for having an affair with your wife.
Knock his block off, maybe, sure, but not kill him. I hope you don't find that incriminating. You know, normally I'm not prone to outbursts like that, but Calder, Mr. Nedick, he was not a very nice person. Not a very nice person to me or my family. I had had my suspicions for several weeks, but had no proof until 2 days ago. It seems Calder was seeing my wife. Right under my nose, no less. But, as much as I may hate him for that, I could not kill him. It may have been my own fault. I was just out running, trying to Of course.
Okay.
So, what do you want? Right. So.
Nah.
Right.
Well, this case is starting to take shape. It's clear from all of the circumstantial evidence that both of these people have a bone to pick with the guy. And one of them owns the rifle that was used to kill him, potentially. But that's all we know.
Is there any other...
Is there a report of Handon's blaster being stolen?
I am sorry, but I seem to be failing you. I have searched and searched, but I cannot seem to come up with anything at all. I thought to find the record of the missing weapon report Mr. Gould filed with the authorities, but there does not seem to be one. Is there any other information you need?
Okay.
Very well.
This is starting to take even more shape.
How can I be of further assistance?
What do you know about the weapon found by the body?
Of course.
I want to discuss the murder. So what have you determined about the weapon found by the body? The blaster is Handon's. He lied about it being stolen. So we caught Handon in a lie. Interesting, but I think we may need one final piece of the puzzle. There was a blood sample on the weapon that had been sent back for an analysis just before you arrived. Perhaps you could inquire with the information droid about it. If there is anything else you need, I will remain here. It's pretty obvious that what this is turning into. Both had a reason to kill. Both owned a weapon that could have been used for the kill because both weapons were at the scene. And on top of all that, well, they're both injured.
Is there any other information you need?
I think it's clear what happened here. Is there a report of Handon's blaster being stolen? Tell me about the blood sample.
I have just received back an analysis of a sample of the blood found on the weapon. It had been sent back to the Enclave just before you arrived. The blood on the weapon is definitely not Calder's. Unfortunately, there was a bacterial contaminant in the sample that had been taken back to the laboratory, and it had become degraded. We cannot get any more specific analysis from that sample other than the fact it did not belong to Calder. Is there any other information you need?
Okay.
These plains are rife with wild animals. They have so far. Is there any? Very well.
How can I be of further assistance?
You're holding your side. Well, are you injured?
Injured? Of course.
They won't say it.
So, what do you want to know? Well, kind of. Right. So, what do you...
God.
Right.
Is there any other I have just received back an analysis of a sample of the blood found on the weapon. The blood on the weapon is definitely not Calder's. Unfortunately, there was a bacterial contaminant in the sample that had been taken back to the laboratory, and it had become degraded. We cannot get any more specific analysis from that sample other than the fact it did not belong to Calder. Is there any other information you need?
I see. I'll have more questions later.
Very well.
I want to discuss the murder. I assume the blood on the weapon belongs to the victim, but I want to be thorough. What have you learned about the blood on the weapon? It didn't belong to the victim. That is surprising. So the blood must belong to one of the suspects, but which one? I honestly think it's Handon's blood. Why do you believe that? He is clutching his side. Handon has been moving oddly since I arrived. Perhaps we should examine him a little more closely.
Hey, what are you doing?
There's blood. Handon appears to have suffered some sort of blaster wound to his side. It would seem there is one logical scenario. Handon killed Calder for having an affair with his wife. Rickard was out hunting and accidentally shot Handon after he had killed Calder. I agree. No, Rickard is the guilty one. No, they are both guilty. A bold conclusion, one most people would not arrive at. But we are not like most people. We are Jedi. Still, I would like to know how you came to this conclusion. We know Calder was having an affair with Handon's wife, but what possible motive could Rickard have for wanting Calder dead? He was also having an affair with Handon's wife. Dun dun dun. Can you imagine? Rickard thought Calder was cheating him in business. Yes, well done. Both men had a reason to want Calder dead. This is my theory of this morning's events. Both men knew Calder would be out here this morning, and each plotted to kill him. Handon found him first and shot him because of the affair Calder was having with his wife, shortly after Rickard arrived on the scene. From a distance, he saw Handon and thought it was Calder, so he shot him in retaliation for the credits Calder had cheated him out of for their business. Handon would have dropped his blaster, the one we found at the scene covered in blood. He probably thought Rickard was going to kill him, so he called us, hoping he could convince us it was Rickard.
Damn both of you.
That is enough. The culpability of both of you in the murder, and attempted murder, of Calder Neddick is of evidence. Additionally, Rickard Lusoff can be charged with aggravated assault and attempted murder of Handon Gold. I place both of you under the arrest of the Jedi Order, and will escort you to holding facilities in the Jedi Enclave. You have done well here. It is obvious you have been studying your lessons carefully. I will be sure to inform the Jedi Council of your performance in this little test.
Well done. I'm impressed. I'm not sure I could have done as well.
Good day, and may the Force be with you. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, I'm gonna go run back here for a second.
Huh? I'm here.
Oh. Oh, we're here. Funny.
You shall.
What?
I'm not gonna try killing the Mandalorians just yet. He was resistance. 1,000 years ago, the long-forgotten Sith returned to the Republic, and the Great Hyperspace War began. Always giving us a little bit of history lessons as loading screens appear.
You'll pay.
I kinda wonder if there's anything important in this cave since the data pad was collected. Alright, that's right, I went to Cassis, that's right. And we turned it in for a small reward to Neric. That is right. Let us return to the ship. Huh?
Mission, is that you? It's me, Lena, remember? I was dating your brother back on Terrace.
Lena? What are you doing here? Where's Griff?
I'm just passing through. Griff and I broke up a few months after we left Terrace together. Probably for the best. Your brother can be charming, Mission, but he's bad news.
Don't you start trashing my brother, you cantina rat. Take that back or I'll smack you so hard your head tails will pop off.
Mission, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting this way?
You took her brother away and left her alone on Terrace.
You've got your facts a little backwards. Mission could have come with us if she wanted to. It was her choice to stay behind.
You liar! Griff told me that you didn't want his little sister tagging along. That's why he had to leave me behind.
Is that what the hut spawn told you? I wanted you to come with us, Mission. I even offered to pay for your ticket. Why not? I paid for everything else while I was with that freeloader. But he told me you didn't want to leave Terrace. I said we shouldn't even go then. But he said we'd come back and get you after we struck it rich on Dantooine. Just another one of his lies.
No, you're the one who's lying. Griff wouldn't... He wouldn't try to leave me behind.
Maybe your brother isn't the man you thought he was.
Think about it. If Griff wasn't trying to ditch you, Mission, then why didn't he tell you where we were going? After we left Terrace, he told me looking after you was holding him back. Griff's always looking to blame other people for his own problems. That's why he abandoned you. He did the same thing to me, too. As soon as I ran out of money, he started blaming me for all of his problems. Like it's my fault his get-rich-quick schemes never work out.
So where's Griff now?
Still on Dantooine as far as I know. Not that I really care anymore. And if Mission was smart, she'd forget about that no-good con artist.
But Griff is my brother. I just can't pretend he doesn't exist. If he was here to defend himself, Lena wouldn't be saying all this bad stuff about him.
Hey, if you want to talk to Griff, go ahead. Last I heard, he was going to make a fortune working the Zerka Corp mines on Dantooine. But as far as I'm concerned, he's out of my life forever.
Griff's better off without you anyway, you table-dancing, brother-stealing home wrecker.
I guess that's my cue to leave then. I didn't mean to upset you, Mission. But one day you'll see I'm right about your brother. I only hope it's not too late by then.
Huh. Honestly, I think Lena might be pretty on the mark, if we're gonna be honest. From all the things that Mission has told us about her brother, I have nothing but suspicions, questions, and they're not very good questions, and none of them are kind either. At any rate, let's go ahead and see what the Jedi Masters have to say about that. It's a stupid investigation we did.
I have nothing left to teach the lessons now that the first...
I must congratulate you on your actions. You have saved Juhani and brought her back into the Order, and have given us all great hope for your future success. May the Force be with you as you continue your training.
Okay.
Your training is now complete, Padawan. And perhaps now, it is time we dealt with the matter of the dream you and Bastila shared. When we heard of the ruins in your dreams, Master Dorak recognized it as one of a series of ancient structures here on Dantooine. This one in particular, like we sent a Jedi to the Force, the Seek.
Yeah, you told me.
The way ahead will...
Greetings, young Padawan. Have you come seeking knowledge of the past? Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. As chronicler of the Academy here on you should palm...
I'll be going now.
May the Force...
They have nothing else to offer. Boy, oh boy. Except congratulations and good tidings, I guess. I never did like it when the game's dialogue was limited. When any game's dialogue is very limited. And that's how it is with old games. You only have so many things you can have a character say before, you know, there's just not much else to say. I guess now we could go investigate those damned ruins. That could be the next thing we do. The hell is it going? It's running away from us. What the hell? That was weird. So here's the ruins. All right. Into the strange ruins we go. Ah yes, nice, dark, and misty down here. This droid is speaking a language you do not recognize. What language is that? What are you trying to say? This droid is speaking a language you do not recognize. Bastila, do you have any idea what this droid is saying?
I think the droid is trying to communicate with us by cycling through a variety of languages. Each time it spoke, it was using a very different alien dialect. The droid can probably understand us. The only problem is it may not have been programmed with the phonemes of a language we can understand.
I can reproduce any of the languages spoken by the slaves of the builders. Hey, I understood that.
I recognize this language as well. It's an archaic variant of the Selkath dialect spoken on Manaan. Why would a droid on Dantooine be programmed to speak ancient Selkath?
Communication was vital to ensure that the slaves constructed this temple according to the wishes of the builders. But you are not the slave species. Neither you are the builders. You are like the one who came before.
It must be referring to Revan, The Dark Lord and Malik likely encountered this droid when they explored these ruins.
Are you some type of guardian? I am the Overseer. The Builders programmed me to enforce discipline among the slaves while this monument to the power of the Starforge was constructed. At project completion, all slaves were executed. I was reprogrammed to search should a Builder return in search of knowledge of the Starforge. Who are these Builders you keep talking about? The Builders are the great masters of the galaxy, the conquerors of all worlds, the rulers of the Infinite Empire, and the creators of the Starforge.
These Builders must have been an extinct people, though it is strange there's no record of their existence. Even the archives of the Jedi Academy make no mention of them. In the years before the Republic, the Hutts were a dominant force in the galaxy, but they never constructed an empire. In fact, I know of no species that would fit with this information.
The droid speaks Selkath. Maybe they were the Builders. The Selkath were nothing but slaves and servants of the true masters. Like all other species, they bowed down before the might of the Builders and the Starforge. The empire of the Builders is infinite and everlasting. None can stand against their might and the power of the Starforge. Have you seen a Builder recently? I have been here since the completion of this monument, and all this time no Builder has returned to seek information on the Starforge. How long have you been here? My chronological circuits have marked over 10 full revolutions of this system's outermost planet around the sun since the Builders left.
10 revolutions would take more than 20,000 years. If this is true, then this droid is nearly 5,000 years older than the Republic itself. There must be some mistake.
There is no mistake. The Builders constructed my chronological circuitry using the technology of the Starforge itself. My calculations are infallible. What is the Starforge? The Starforge is the glory of the Builders, the apex of their infinite empire. It is a machine of invincible might, a tool of unstoppable conquest. But what is it? What does it do? Could you be a little more specific? You don't really know what it is, do you? But what is it? What does it do? The Starforge is the glory of the Builders, the apex of their infinite empire. It is a machine of invincible might, a tool of unstoppable conquest.
The droid is obviously not programmed with the knowledge we seek. The Starforge sounds like some type of weapon, perhaps. Though in fact, it could be anything.
Could it have been a factory or a weapons plant?
Maybe. That might explain how the Sith were able to amass a fleet so quickly. But I suspect the Starforge is more powerful than a mere factory. Maybe the droid has more information we can use. It seems to respond to you. Perhaps you should ask it something else.
Okay, well, what does that matter? Tell me about Revan and Malik, the ones who came before us. The ones who came before you, the ones like you, not Builders but not slaves, sought knowledge of the Starforge and its origin. They proved themselves worthy. They discovered the secrets of the Starforge locked beyond the sealed door behind me, but there was one other who failed to unlock the secrets and paid the ultimate price.
The droid must be talking about poor Nemo. The Council sent him here to investigate, and it cost him his life.
Did you kill the Jedi over there? I am not programmed for combat. I did not harm the one who failed. This temple's own protections will destroy those who seek knowledge of the Starforge if they are not deemed worthy. Those who seek own protections will destroy those who seek knowledge of the Starforge if they are deemed unworthy. How can I prove I myself worthy then? Enter the proving grounds to the east and west. Within them, those who understand the will of the Builders can unlock their secrets and open the doors. But those who fail will be destroyed by the power of the temple itself. More than this, I am not programmed to say.
Revan and Malik unlocked the sealed door and uncovered the secrets of the Starforge. Now Malik is using the Starforge to fuel his conquest of the Republic. We have to find out what they uncovered. We have to find a way to unseal these doors to learn more about the Starforge. The Republic is depending on us.
So it would seem. What you got for me, Nemo? Jedi Knight robes? I'll take that. 2 defense. I see a droid. Mission, you are in the way. Ow.
You shall fall.
Yeah?
An ancient terminal. The ancient computer hums and throbs as you approach it. Its screens flicker to life and a stream of incomprehensible characters scroll across it. Press a button. Press many buttons at random. Talk to the computer. Kick the computer. Attempt to slice the ancient system. Failure. Given no knowledge of the ancient system and a patent inability to read its output, your attempt is doomed. Talk to the computer. The computer goes silent, its screen blank. A few extremely unusual characters then appear on the screen. The computer emits a rapid sequence of tones. You hear one of those tones softly echoed by your datapad. A small data receptacle opens in the front of the data machine. Insert your datapad into the receptacle. The computer seems to be interfacing with your datapad. The screen goes blank again, and then more familiar characters begin to appear on the screen. Hersiki Jisuf Tulin So H Idaskuf, I guess. Retrieve your datapad. The datapad seems to be locked into the ancient computer. It does not budge. Press a button. Press many buttons at random. Talk to the computer. The computer goes silent again, humming softly. It seems to be processing data from your datapad. Your datapad is released from the receptacle and the machine goes silent for a moment before flickering to life again. Data interpretation complete. Language analysis complete. Interrogative. Identify the 3 primary life-giving seed world types. Oceanic. Grassland. Arboreal? Not sure what arboreal means. I'm gonna say arboreal. Planetary type conducive to life-breaking life seal. This ancient computer stands silent and still.
Yes?
Sure.
I'm assuming we must have gotten that right because the droid didn't appear or something, so. Well, hang on. Whoa. I got carbonized or something. Ow. Stop it. Oh wow, you are an asshole. Really? I know. Jesus Christ. Talk to computer. Insert datapad. Talk to the computer again. Data interpretation and language analysis complete. Interrogated. Identify 3 primary death-giving seed world types. Desert. Volcanic. Barren. Planetary type conducive to death-breaking and death seal. I guess that's all we needed to do. You are neither builder nor slave. If you seek the secrets of the Starforge, you must first prove yourself worthy. Only then will the sealed door open. Well, I did it. You have proven yourself worthy. The sealed door is open. If you wish to learn the secrets of the Starforge, you must pass through the door to the room beyond. I want to ask some questions. I am here to aid those who seek knowledge of the builders. What do you wish to know? What do you know about the builders? Tell me about the Starforge. Tell me about the Starforge. I'll be going. Kinda figured. Alright.
This must be what Revan and Malik found when they entered this temple. This must be where their journey down the dark side began.
What is it? What is it?
This is a map. Some sort of intergalactic navigational chart. Revan and Malik must have used this to lead them to the Starforge. We could use this map to follow their path and find the Starforge ourselves. But we must be wary. They may have laid traps or concealed what they found.
So what is the Starforge exactly? I still don't understand about the Starforge. What does it do? What is the Starforge exactly?
I don't know, but Revan and Malik were very interested in finding it. It must be a tool of some type, or maybe a weapon. Perhaps the Council can tell us more. But I think this map might be the key to finding the Starforge, whatever it is. See this world here? This looks like Korriban, a Sith world. And if that's Korriban, then this is Kashyyyk, and Tatooine, and here's Manan. But there are pieces missing. Incomplete hyperspace coordinates, corrupted data, and there doesn't seem to be anything indicating where the Starforge itself might be.
Perhaps those worlds have more clues.
I was thinking that too. This map can't take us to the Starforge, but I know that Revan and Malik visited Korriban at least once. Perhaps they discovered something more there. They may have found something on each of the other worlds that completed this map. Maybe if we find all the pieces, they'll lead us to the Starforge, and some way to destroy it. We must inform the Council of what we've discovered. They must decide our next course of action, though I suspect our task has only just begun.
Isn't it funny that they've been sitting on a star map this whole time, and not once have they answered this temple because it was declared to be forbidden? And yet, all they had to do to figure out what Revan and Malik were up to is just go through this thing and then discover, oh, there's actually a fucking star map, and there's a thing called a Starforge, and that might have something to do and explain the actual process behind which Revan and Malik found their fucking forces. But of course, they didn't do that, because the Jedi Council never does anything. This is a consistent pattern across all forms of Star Wars media. Hey. Nothing like seeing misses pop up all the time. Ay, ay, ay. Alright. Well, we made it back to the academy. It's clear I'm going to need to focus on some of my skill points to try and negate this missing problem. Because I know what's probably causing it. I just need to add points into certain stats to make that work. Bastila seems to have something on her mind. Perhaps you should talk to her about it. Speak to Bastila.
How can I help?
I want to talk about... You look like something's bothering you.
No, not bothering me. Not exactly. I've been thinking about what the Jedi Council said about the two of us. There is a bond between us. I do not dispute that. I can feel it, as I'm sure you can. The nature of that bond and its effect on our mission remain in question.
I think you're interested in more than just the bond between us. Doesn't the bond mean my presence is necessary? I don't believe in this bond regardless of what the Jedi Council says. I think you're interested in more than just the bond between us.
Please. I'm a Jedi. Such feelings, such attractions are, well, they're beneath me, quite frankly. I admit I find you intriguing. I mean, I find your command of the Force intriguing, but my interest in you is purely academic. Surely you can understand why. Our fates are strongly connected. So connected that a literal bond has been forged between us. I saw your service records when you were transferred aboard the Ender Spire, but nothing beyond that. I know very little about you. I'd like to ask you some questions, given our relationship.
Uh-huh. I never mentioned anything about romance. I just thought that it might be a little deeper than that, but, you clearly are the one who got defensive about it, so I'm assuming that there's something there. A real fucking tsundere. Again, before anime even ever became popular. Our relationship, is this some kind of clumsy come-on? You know what, I'll tease her. Our relationship, is this some kind of clumsy come-on?
I was referring to the bond we share, the one the Jedi Council spoke of. If I was actually interested in you, rest assured I could come up with a much better approach than this.
Whoa, guess I touched a nerve there, huh?
Touched a nerve? No. Getting on my nerves, most definitely. I suppose this is what you men consider being witty. Are you going to answer my questions, or would you rather just keep annoying me?
You know what? That's fucking earned. That's fucking earned. I'll take that one. I'll take it. I'll take that one. that was delightfully hilarious. I don't know about witty. I'm not the one who's being defensive here, but you do you, Bastila. You do you. Answer my questions, or would you rather just keep annoying me? Okay, I'll answer a few questions on the second one. Wait. I second the one.
I see you intend to be childish about this. I guess I won't get anywhere continuing our discussion right now, will I? I suppose I'll just have to speak to you again later. Hopefully you'll behave a little less like a little boy, and a little more like a man.
Be a man. You just be a man. Stop being such a little boy. Stop teasing me. Just be a man. Don't tease the girl you like. I'm fucking done. This game literally pulled this shit on me. I fucking love it. That was delightfully fucking hilarious. I think that's a good point to end this on. Holy shit, that was kind of funny. Fucking Christ. Oh boy, oh boy. It's true though. It's true. It's don't tease the women you like. You tease them seldomly. Tease them seldomly, but don't tease them like it's going out of style. Never do that. But do tease them seldomly. Otherwise they're just they're gonna otherwise they're just gonna think that they're gonna be able to say and do whatever the hell they want, and they'll just think they'll have the run of the mill of everything. They'll just be able to pull one over on you, and that's just not true. You gotta draw the line in some cases. But yes, poking fun and a little bit of light teasing is absolutely conducive to a long-lasting relationship. Because if you can't poke fun a little bit at your partner, and if you can't even make a little bit of teases here and there, then where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in that? And by that I mean the teasing, because the teasing is fun. The light teasing is always fun. I don't know why that is. Speaking as a guy myself, I don't know why it's fun, but it is. Sometimes it's just fun. I think it's mainly to, oh yeah, you know what it is? It's the reactions. Men notoriously like to see the reactions of their partners. Always. It's kind of like, women, how they do the shit test? Like, I know some people will, have probably heard about, probably know this too. I'm probably speaking to the choir, actually. I don't know. The internet's funny, and it's in a strange place to me sometimes. But anyways, women have this thing that they do where it's like a shit test, where they say or do something that's normally not something that you should or shouldn't do, but they do it anyways. And they basically, what they do is that they slowly poke and prod here and there to see what they can do and what they can't do, see what they can get away with, and see where the line is and what's crossing the boundary too much. They do this intentionally for a couple of reasons that I can think of off the top of my head. The first one being that, to figure out where the line is. What subjects are off limits and what subjects are actually fine. And the other aspect to that is also, like just to understand and learn more about their partners, because of course you should know and understand more about your partner, because otherwise you don't want to get in bed with someone who's going to be a potential fucking problem, and it might be a literal parasite of a different sense, and an emotional parasite. And then again, women are also emotional parasites, but they're more so physical ones. They're more so a physical parasite, because they literally... once they got their claws into you, all they want from you is your wealth and influence. Your wealth and influence. Once they sink their claws into you, that's primarily the reason that's the only reason why they would have to do so, is wealth and resources. And I know that kind of sounds like a fucking stupid, well, not stupid, but I know that sounds kind of like a really fucked up thing to say, but it's true. Women prioritize their own things, just like guys prioritize their own things as well. Every guy has a sort of like dream or a desire to want to be a somebody. Women also have the same motivations, but most would be content with just being affiliated with someone who has that already. And so there's really not that much of a motivation for women to really want to stand out outside of just being, noticed. And I mean that literally. The only desire that women have is just being noticed. And if that means being noticed by a person who's already got a lot of... who's already pretty stacked up, that's all the better. Anyways, point being... it's, God, I just went down a rabbit hole all of a sudden. Anyways, but yeah, point being, men have a shit test as well, and that shit test is poking and prodding at their female, counterparts to check to see if they're not actually just taking them for a ride. And it's not something that every man exercises, because not every man passes on the knowledge and the pursuit of understanding their partner in the sense of how they could potentially try to fuck them over. Sadly to say, it is not a thing that gets passed on, because I guess previous generations got pretty lax about that. most of the time now, the only thing that people care about is like just finding a decent partner who looks good and is at least enjoyable to be around, and that's it. They don't actually care if they're actually going to be a problem down the road. As long as they're fun in the moments, that's fine. That's a problem. If we start exercising actual, investigating and prodding, we'll actually find out some things about our partners that would probably be less desirable, and we might not want to be anywhere near or a part of. And that will probably save many dudes a lot of the headaches of having to go through divorce courts and all of the other usual bullshit that follows having to deal with someone who might have a bone to pick with you, or probably just only cares about you for your fucking resources or whatever shit. And it would just save a lot of headaches if you actually just did a little bit of just the investigation and just take a little bit of that necessary step forward, just to give the occasional shit test here and there, just occasionally poke and prod, see what potentially gets a rise out of them and see what potentially doesn't. You know, it's a necessary step, because otherwise I don't know if I can trust you to do shit. That's the main crux of the whole thing, is that I can't trust you in certain situations to be able to handle certain situations competently or carefully without you either flying off the handle or potentially trying to abuse the situation. It's a necessary thing. It's one of the reasons why you see a lot of funny, hilarious stories about dudes, even if it is fake, about them literally pretending to be something that they're not, see how their partner reacts to certain things, and then see and analyze what their response is, and then make judgments based off of those responses. You know, like the one infamous stories that you see often where a guy who's pretty well off poses and approaches a woman who, you know, from a modest standing, and basically tries to see if she's actually, you know, like, faithful or not, or, you know, or he has actually got a reasonable intent to want to pursue them that goes beyond just wealth or influence. Another funny one is the kind of the inverse, where a dude approaches a woman from a wealthy and position of power, and then he immediately walks up to her one day and it's just like, "Oh, honey, I have some terrible news. Our business went down the drain. We went bankrupt. Our assets are completely liquidated. Our banks are closing. We don't have a whole lot of money to support the business. We're literally going to be destitute. We're going to be fucked over." And just telling that to any woman is liable to send them down the point of no return. Telling that to any woman, hell, even some dudes would just make their fucking their jaws drop a little bit, just like, "Whoa, what the fuck? Are you serious?" But no, with women though, especially if they're with you, they're just gonna be like, "What? What do you mean? What happened? How did this happen? What do you mean our assets are being liquidated? What do you mean our business is going under? What do you mean we're bankrupt?" They're just gonna lose their fucking shit. It's and how they react to that is going to potentially be funny. Because there's a reason why some people do it, and it's because they want to see if they actually decide to fucking leave them or not, and that's usually the main reason for the shit test. I think it's a bit of an extreme shit test, but that's the most popular one you see get regurgitated around the forums. But anyways, enough of that. This video's going on for well over the 3-hour mark, and yeah, that was fun. That was a fun little bit of dialogue at the end of that. Funny how the interesting conversations only came in at the end of the video. I kind of hate that fact, but it's really hard to come up with interesting conversational topics. Maybe in the next one I'll write down a few key ideas to maybe talk about. Maybe I'll mule it over a bit, but I don't know. I don't know if I need to. I don't know if it would be better to do it that way or just do it as the inspiration arrives. I have no idea. I don't even know if that's what people would even care about the videos for. You know, now that I think about it, maybe if I had a webcam or something, maybe that would help alleviate a lot of that nonsense a bit, but because I don't actually record myself in front of a webcam, it's kind of, you know, like, it's not like you can get a different enjoyment by watching the video and watching my reactions to things. So, yeah. And I have thought about getting a webcam at one point, but I don't want to actually get a webcam. And there's a main reason for this. I am currently waiting for the right opportunity to work on some of my physical issues, my skin issues, because I'm like, because it's I'm pretty much in the middle of my 20s, and I don't have, and I've never found a great skincare routine. So I've had acne problems for like the longest time, and that's one of the main reasons why I don't have a webcam. It's because I don't think I would be that great to look at on a camera. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being self-conscious. Maybe I just need to suck it up a little bit. Maybe I need to follow Bastel's advice and just be a man about it. Just suck it up and just go and throw it out there. Just throw my mug out there for all to see. It's fucking funny. That's funny. And you know what's funnier is that women will often say, "Well, we don't need toxic masculinity. We don't need men to be this and that." And it's so funny because they'll say that, "Oh, I don't really need a man. I just want a decent person. I just want to be with and married to a decent human being." It's just like, or a nice guy. And then you all know how the nice guy trope went down. And then the best part of all, for me, is when they say shit like, you know, like, I don't need really a man-ish. I just need a decent guy. I just need someone who's at least passable. I don't have high standards. And then they immediately go for like the biggest, haunchiest man in the room. It's like, seriously. They say one thing. Do as I say, not as I do. This is also one of the reasons why whenever I get asked about romance or dating advice by anyone, I tell them not to listen. Hell, no. And whenever anyone's having relationship problems of any kind or trying to get women, I just often tell them the last person you should be asking questions to is women. I know that seems like the logical idea, to go straight to the source, to the horse's mouth itself, and ask it, what am I doing wrong? But let me tell you something. If women actually knew what the fuck they wanted, and I know this is, again, gonna sound like I'm going into a stereotype here, but if women actually knew what the fuck they wanted, they would not be having this problem of finding mates. They would not. They would not have this problem. They would have found their mates a long time ago and would have just settled with that. But they don't. They don't know. Because they're waiting for the right mate to just appear to them. You know, kind of like how it's, you know, kind of like how, you know, like in the old fairy tales of Prince Charming and meeting the princess for like the first time, and it's like, holy shit, it's like love at first sight type of thing. That's not necessarily true, but there is some truth to its concept. There is some truth to the concept. There's a reason why men do the approaching and not the other way around. And it's because it's usually the masculine thing to do, to be the one to take the assertive, to be the assertive one in the dynamic and make the approach to the woman. That's why, and that goes a long way in your competency. The fact that you had the goal to approach them in the first place, that gives you some points. What you say and do after that is entirely under your discretion. And whether or not that actually lands you anywhere is also entirely based on what you say and do in those moments, in those key moments that are afforded to you. But otherwise, yes, the point being is that you don't listen to women when it comes to dating advice, alright? And I know that sounds kind of weird to even say, or it sounds like ridiculous to even consider, but it's true. Because other than the point that I just made there, the other reason why you shouldn't do it is simply because when you actually take what a woman says and then you put it into practice, it never works out. again, going back to the example, for the longest time, women said that they wanted nice guys. They wanted Prince Charming. They wanted someone to come in and sweep them off their feet. And then when any guy from all walks of life under the sun decides, or from every floorboard and under the sun decides that they're going to do exactly that, suddenly it's like, oh well, we don't want nice guys. We want decent guys. We want good-looking guys, and ones that aren't emotionally irrational and unstable to some degree and are liable to hurl insults at us for even deigning to fucking turn them down. And it's like, well, what the fuck did you expect? Of course they're gonna come at you with their fedoras and they're gonna be like, pardon me, milady, and do all that fucking bullshit. Because you literally said, I want nice guys. Most of the fucking millennial generation of men heard, hey, you just need to be nice to them and it'll be fine. You'll find the right lady eventually. So they took that to heart, and guess what? It didn't fucking work. It didn't fucking work. None of that fucking worked. You know what you should have told them? You should have told them, hey, we want a respectable man, one who is actually regarded highly amongst his peers, and actually takes care of himself, and is a person who is at least smart enough to actually navigate most of the fucking bullshit and problems through his life, and is actually passionate about the shit that he does. You know, if he said something along those lines, then most of the then I guarantee you that most of the men would probably have moved on from not being just a nice guy, and probably would have been like, okay, so I'm gonna just completely turn myself into something that is entirely different than just being nice. Which would take a massive undertaking, but there would at least be, if enough people were interested in doing so, some type of service or community that would help to bolster this this idea, this fact. Which, again, none of the women said any of that. Because the only thing women seem to care about is literally just like, oh, I want to find a decent guy. I want to find a guy who's got all of these qualities. And it's like, and it's funny because, again, either they don't know what they want, or they have a laundry list of qualities that they want from a guy. And again, going back to the point that I made, they don't really know what they want. And the reason why I keep saying this is because it doesn't matter if you don't know what you want from a guy. It doesn't even matter if they have all of these fucking qualities that you're looking for in a guy. If a guy who's a Hollywood celebrity, for example, a famous Hollywood actor approaches you, say Henry Cavill. If Henry Cavill approaches you one day and takes an interest in you and strikes up a conversation, he seems to enjoy the conversation. He seems to be receptive to your words. He's actually listening. Doesn't seem to actually give a shit about who you are, where your standing is, or any of this other shit. And he's genuinely nice. He seems considerate and seems to take a genuine interest in your own fucking life. Then 9 times out of 10, you're more likely to go with Henry Cavill. Even if you're more so even if you say you're more so of the kind of guy who's more likely to go after maybe like a Leonardo DiCaprio, I guess. I don't know. I think it's Leonardo DiCaprio. Anyways, you're more likely to go with a Henry Cavill than you are maybe some other type of guy. Even if Henry Cavill doesn't meet all of the fucking standards that you have. Like, he could literally just be... And we know Henry Cavill is a fucking nerd, by the way. He's a massive fucking nerd. He's a computer nerd. He's a video game nerd. And he loves... And we know that he played The Witcher 3, so we know he's also a fucking nerd for the Witcher series. And he's even got the books for it. So we know to some degree he is engaged in nerd culture. And so even if you don't find that to be an attractive quality, the fact that he's actually a famous actor, is actually passionate about the things that he does, and he actually takes care of himself, and looks fucking great to boot. He even played in the fucking role of Superman, for God's sake, then you better fucking believe you're not gonna just fucking turn that away. And I don't know what else to tell you. This isn't hard. I know some guys find it hard too, and I know some women find it hard to believe, but you know, like It's when you really sit down and you really acknowledge what it is, the behaviors between the sexes, it's like, it's not hard to piece together how the sexes operate and how they think. You just gotta pay attention. You just have to pay attention and notice the patterns. And even if it's not like patterns you see and experience yourself, you can infer things just based off of other people's personal experiences and build a nice little idea of how people tend to function and operate. It really isn't that hard. This isn't hard. Really shouldn't be hard, but it is for some people, and it boggles my fucking mind sometimes. Anyways, enough of this. This video has gone on long enough. It's literally 30 after the 3rd hour mark. So, thank you for watching this video. You probably already clicked off by now. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.